and welcome into the stream for everyone tuning in on YouTube. I really appreciate you for being here. We're going to go ahead and hop into the discussions with Trump supporters on this great afternoon of July the 5th. We already have our first Trump supporter loaded into the live stream. Their name is Spark Hose. They're 38. Go ahead and take it away. Tell us why you support Trump.
Because my brain doesn't work very good.
Okay, mods ban him. Mods ban him. Okay, all right. Let's see who's next. Guys, if you want to skip the line and you want to come up on the live stream and tell us why you support Trump, just go ahead and put a MAGA down below in that chat with your age. We'll get you pulled up. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
Bro, you're fat ugly.
All right, I'm going to take that as a yes. So why do you support Trump?
Bro, he's the GOAT. What do you mean? Your Kamala can barely speak.
What does GOAT stand for?
Greatest of all time.
Damn, I'm surprised you knew that
Common
one.
sense.
Great.
I think you heard that many times.
Common sense. I have a very commonsensical question for you. Name one policy literally ever passed through the American Congress.
You're gonna stand behind the screen and Google everything, or you're gonna let people speak without muting them?
I'm not going to mute you. Name one policy ever passed through the American Congress.
Don't kick me. No.
He left. Oh my god. Oh no, guys. Oh Jesus. What is going on today, everybody? I won policy. Sorry, that was my YouTube stream because I was just pulling it up. What is going on, y'all? Like, I don't even know. I don't even like what has like American politics regressed down to at this point. Like, this is just depressing, guys. This is seriously fucking depressing. We are going to move on to the next Trump supporter because we're speed running these kids in like 5 seconds. I mean, this is just unreal. I'm having fun today. Let's go to move on to the next guest. But no, seriously, for everyone over on TikTok, make sure that we're double tapping. Let's get up to 500,000 double taps. As well as Samantha, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. Samantha says, hey, Dean, thanks for all that you do. Samantha, you're awesome. Thank you so much for the $10 donation. Show some love to Samantha down below in those chats. Welcome in, Trumpy. Are you a Trumpy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how old are you?
21.
You're 21 years old and you love Trump so much, your name is literally MAGA Lover. Your profile picture is a picture of Trump and your name is Trumpy. That is really cringe, dude.
I love MAGA.
Yeah, it's really cringe. All right, why do you support Trump?
I support Trump because every night he comes over and plays in my butt. And I think he doesn't play in your butt.
All right, get the hell out of here, buddy. Get the hell out of here. We're going to move on to the next guest, guys. Just looking for one Trump supporter to come up here and have a conversation with us. Right now, we have just over 7,000 people loaded into that TikTok live stream. We're not finding any Trump supporters. Let me tell you that. And then the Trump supporters that we do find last 5 seconds. Last longer with me than they did their ex-wife. Now, Roy, welcome. And do you support Trump?
I'm sorry to waste your time, but no, fuck.
All right, see you later, Roy. Skedaddle. All right, moving on to the next guest. We got Jade West loaded up in that box. Hopefully, we'll find a single Trump supporter to have a conversation with us. Now, if you want to skip that line, go ahead and just drop a MAGA with your age down below in that chat. What's going on, Jade? Do you support Trump?
Yes.
And how old are you?
I'm 24.
And you support Trump, Jade?
Yeah.
Oh, my days. Why do you support Trump?
I just agree with his policies and his faith and everything like that. I just don't like, I grew up really religious and I just like align with him more than I do so the other parties.
Because of your religion?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your religion? Because it's obviously not Christianity, because he's like the furthest thing away from a Christian.
No,
right?
I'm a Christian.
Oh, Jesus. Well, you know, he like kind of like ripped off God's word, the Bible, put his name on it and sold it for $60. That's super Christian, right?
I mean, there's a bunch of different like editions of Bibles. Like Joyce Meyer has a Bible, Kenneth Copeland has Bibles, you know, like I don't really see it as...
I don't think that Kenneth Copeland is a real Christian either.
Why not?
Because he says that he justified spending $40 million from donations to his church on a private plane, because when he's on like regular planes that aren't private, he's just in a small tube filled with a bunch of demons.
I mean, if that's how you see it.
That's what he said. I'm just literally repeating what he said to you.
Okay.
Then about Trump not being a Christian. Hey, man, could we agree that a Christian value is to give to those that are more needy than yourself?
Dean, I'm so sorry. I'm not a Trump supporter. I love you.
Jade, never do that again. Please. Please, Jade. The only reason I'm asking that from you isn't because you personally delayed the stream that much. No worries. You're up here for 30 seconds having fun. But the thing is, when we have like a lot of people like you to road, Jade, that all of a sudden we're live for like 2 hours and we haven't talked to a single Trump supporter because everybody is trolling. So please, Jade, never do that again. Never, never, never. Moving on to the next guest. What is going on? Do you support Trump? And they left. Okay, go to drop a MAGA down below in that chat with your age. We'll get you pulled up onto the live stream. Y'all really just looking for one Trump supporter. We got Felix loaded in right now. Let's go ahead and see what that next guest has to say. Here we go, everybody. We got Felix loading in. Hey, Felix, do you support Trump? Okay, goodbye, Felix. That was rather quick. I'm really confused by the state of the queue right now. Are the Trump supporters just too scared? I think that wow, that guy was up here for like half a second and he dropped. I think that the Trump supporters are simply too scared, everybody. Is that something that we might all be able to agree on, even the Trump supporters? Like, can I get a yes, I'm scared, from all the adult Trump supporters watching the live that don't want to join down below in that comment section? Could you just admit it? You know, for the first time in your life? Yeah, you know, I don't know. I think that's what it is, guys. I think that's what it is. Hey, what's going on? Do you support Trump? Okay, he said goodbye too. Everybody is dropping like sub 5 seconds. Okay, do we have any any Trump supporters in here out of like the over 8,000 people that want to debate? And I'm asking that seriously. I mean, it's time to cut through all this nonsense and to have some genuine good faith conversation. Is there anyone? Okay, a lot of people saying me in that chat. Well, let's get them loaded in. Just make sure that you're an American adult that's at least 18 years old that supports Trump. GLP, what's up? You said that you're a Trump supporter down below that chat. How old are you? So right now we have somebody...
6, 7.
Oh, so they're not a Trump supporter. Okay, so it looks like now even the people saying that they're Trump supporters down below in that chat aren't actually Trump supporters. They aren't. Wow. That's insane. What's up? Hey, do you support Trump?
Yes.
And how old are you?
I am 19.
19. And what time is it?
Huh?
What time is it?
Nah, I'm kidding. I love Kamala.
Okay, so seriously, even the people saying that they support Trump in the comment section aren't actually Trump supporters. The people spamming MAGA in my comment section are liberals. Guys. What are we doing? No, like seriously. For the liberals watching, what are you doing, dude? You know, like the point of this stream is to convince more people to be on our side. And the way that we do that is by talking to Trump supporters. So when you pretend to be a Trump supporter just to come up here and say, fuck Trump, I'm a liberal, and then like a billion people in a row do that, and then all of a sudden we're 30 minutes into the stream without a debate, the stream isn't effective. It just ensures that there's more people kept on the right. So all the liberals that are trolling, just know that the ultimate outcome of what you're doing is just more people supporting Trump. Keep that in mind. Seriously, do keep it in mind. We're going to go to get the next guest up here. We got user loading into the live. Here we go, everybody. Just do be patient. What's going on? Do you support Trump, user? User.
Yes, I do.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 18 years old.
What year were you born in?
2006.
Okay, what month?
August 3rd.
Okay. All right, take it away, man. Tell us why you support Trump.
Well, primarily for my pro-life position.
Is that all?
Yeah. I thought it was that important.
Okay, I mean, well, I just would ask you a question here. So after Roe v. Wade was overturned, we've just had like more abortions in America, but we've also had the most expensive bill ever passed and 17 million people cut off of health insurance. And like SNAP's is significantly defunded. 3 million families are going to lose access to SNAP benefits, and that's actually going to impact young children as well. So, I mean, like if you're like truly pro-life, you care about the kids, like point number one, right? You wouldn't support Trump right now because even though you overturn Roe v. Wade, there's more abortions per year, and there's more restrictive policy that harm the lives of born children, such as his cuts to the ACA or food stamps.
Well, I came up here for an abortion debate. Can I examine your worldview?
Can you answer to what I just said about how your worldview, like seemingly right now, there's even more harm being caused to children because there's more abortions and less social safety nets for born kids?
You say that there's going to be more harm due to more abortions?
There's more abortions under your worldview. That's more harm, as well as 17 million people are being kicked off of healthcare and 3 million people are being kicked off of food stamps. That impacts children and increases childhood poverty. Seemingly, the pro-life worldview would be rejecting Trump right now.
No, I'm not. I don't. I think you're making the bill out to be worse than it really is.
Okay, why do you think? Why do you say that?
For example, you're saying, what was the number? You said it's cutting healthcare for how many Americans?
17 million.
Which citation are you citing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's coming from either the CBO or the CRBF.
No, like
I think that's coming
specifically
from
within
the.
bill.
I think that's coming from the CBPP. Yeah, that's coming. That's coming from the CBPP.
Specifically, which citation within the bill?
Yeah, the measures of the bill that make it so there's a maximum cap on the income that you can have in order to qualify for the ACA in all 50 states to $16,000 per year, shifting away from what existed previously, where states could impose maximum caps on their own based upon the standard of living in that state and what is considered an income that throws you below the poverty threshold. Like, for instance, in a state that I live in, Colorado, before the BBB was passed, you could qualify for the ACA making at or under $22,000 per year. Now, after the BBB is passed in the next 2 years, that federal restriction that will be implemented will cut off all Coloradians making in between $17,000 and $22,000 per year off of the ACA. If you'd like to know more about this and what the impact is, I would direct you to the CBPP. That's the Center for Budget and Policy Priorities for a little bit more of an in-depth evaluation of what exactly is going to be cutting people off of the ACA and how many people it will impact.
Okay, I hear you on that, and I got to be honest, I'm not completely informed on that specifically. But like I said, I feel like the slaughtering of millions of babies every year is far more important than the potential detriments that the bill may cause.
Well, once again, we've only seen numbers of abortions every year increase, as well as more young children will die from starvation, die from a lack of an access to health care, and experience more poverty. So there's more children being harmed. That's why I would say that today, this pro-life worldview is definitely not something that would coincide with the support for President Trump.
Or maybe it could create an incentive for more people to work harder. Have you thought of that?
So actually, people work harder when they have access to healthcare, because when people don't have access to healthcare and their ailments go untreated, they can't work due to more severe disabilities that could have been prevented from healthcare 3 years ago. Have you ever thought about that?
Now I have.
Right.
But why is why?
Cool. Appreciate you for the conversation, man. That guy was kind of boring me. I'm not going to lie. Like, his response to the argument was people should work harder. How do you think taking people off of healthcare makes people work harder? That's something I definitely don't get. Something I don't get at all. We're going to go ahead and move on to David. Here we go, everybody. I just feel like the average American is so brain rotted by the idea that, like, spending money to help poor people is just like free handouts that keeps them poor. Even to the extent of saying that that's true of healthcare. You know, like, that's not even true for food stamps. That's not true for Section 8. And like, I could have a really in-depth conversation with somebody about why that's not true. But I feel like it should be the most obvious for, like, healthcare. Okay, healthcare isn't money. Healthcare doesn't increase the dollar figure in your bank account. Healthcare just makes sure that if you break an arm, you could get a cast. Because if they didn't have access to that healthcare, they'd be hit with like a $10,000 bill, and all of a sudden that's too unaffordable. So they'll just let it heal on its own, and maybe that arm will have to get amputated, or they'll be too physically disabled to work. So I mean, just completely unreal. Welcome in, David. Do you support Trump?
No.
That would be a child, David. Follow the rules. You got to be at least 18. You also got to be an American citizen, and you got to support Trump if you want to join the stream. We're going to move on to the next guest, Tyler. Amanda, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal, Amanda says, when the pro-lifers come up, can you point blank ask them what they're doing to help children in need currently? Great, I'll do that with the next guest. Thank you for the love, Amanda. With the $10 over on PayPal, show some love to Amanda down below. As well as Myra, I appreciate you for trying to donate me $5 over in Cash App. It looks like my Cash App is still disabled. RIP. Welcome in, Tyler. Do you support Trump? And Tyler left without saying a single word. We are still looking very hard for Trump supporters today. It is proving infinitely impossible to find any, even when we have close to 8,000 people in the room. Hey, Christopher, appreciate you for trying to donate me $20 on Cash App that was returned to you because my Cash App is still down. If you'd like to support me, you can find my PayPal in the link tree in my bio. It looks like that's my only donation source that is currently open. What's going on? Welcome in. Map K, do you support Trump?
I do, but I also don't support Kamala. Like, I don't...
Well, obviously, if you support Trump, you don't support Harris. What time is it?
Yeah. I'm currently abroad, so it's 11:40 p.m.
All right, moving on to the next guest. Here we go, everybody. Let's go to get ADE up in that box. Y'all make sure that we're double tapping away that phone screen. Welcome in, ADE. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
How old are you?
19.
19. What year were you born in?
2006.
2006. What month?
February.
Okay, phenomenal. Tell us why you support the man, the myth, the failure, Donald Trump.
Well, I feel like he just has like better policies economically.
Oh, really? Like what?
Like, so in the big beautiful bill, he kind of wants to cut some unnecessary like spending. So
it's really unnecessary to spend money on healthcare for like impoverished children, right? That's just terrible. We really need to get rid of that.
Well,
and we should really replace that with like trillions of dollars of tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires.
Well, wouldn't you benefit from the tax cuts since you're rich?
Would I benefit from the tax cuts? Yeah, I'd benefit so much because I make $1 trillion per year. Absolutely.
Wait, so I have a question. So you just got sent $40 in the past like 10 minutes. So wouldn't that qualify you as like above average American?
Yo, Christian, thank you so much for the $100 over on PayPal. I really appreciate you for that love, Christian. Everybody show some love to Christian down below in that comment section. Let's get 1,000 Christian W's down below for the $100 donation over on PayPal. Thank you so much, Christian.
Wait, so I have a question.
Christian says, thank you for supporting gay rights. Christian, it is so good to have you here with us today. Thank you so much for the love. I mean, that is seriously insane. Please show some love to Christian down below in that chat, everybody. Please show some love.
Christian, right?
Show some love to Christian down below. And then in response to your question, sir, so, I mean, I don't share what my income is on live. If I want to tell a group of friends at a party how much money I make, I definitely want to tell, like, 10,000 people on the internet. But, I mean, if your response to me just pointing out that your claim that it rids America of wasteful expenditure by me explaining that it's actually the most expensive bill ever passed in American history, and it just kicks impoverished children off of food stamps and healthcare, and then your retort is to say, well, I probably make $1 billion and I benefit so much off the tax cuts. A, you don't know what my income is, and B, that even if it was like significantly high where I was going to benefit, this doesn't change the fact that I think like a marginal benefit to myself is going to be worth like 11 million people being risk kicked off of food stamps, 17 million people definitely being kicked off of healthcare, rural hospitals closing, and 18 million children in school being kicked off of free lunch. I mean, that's just completely outrageous.
Wait, so I have a question. Why don't you just give me like $500?
Why don't I give you $500?
Yeah, on like PayPal.
Because I don't want to?
Please. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even a Trump supporter. I just want the money.
Okay. All right, everybody. We have been live for 40 minutes. So far this stream, we've talked to 2 Trump supporters. And by the way, both of those conversations lasted around 5 minutes. So in other words, 30 minutes out of the last 40 minutes has been spent talking to trolls. Welcome in, Jade.
Fuck you, you fucking pussy. Go fuck yourself.
Big man with big emotions. He left, by the way, on his own accord. You know what that reminds me of? Let me tell you. That reminds me of a toddler throwing a tantrum. And let me tell you why. I don't know. Maybe there's some parents in the chat. You know how like your kid will like get angry and emotional? Maybe they'll come up and like slap you in your leg, or they'll start crying, and then they'll just like immediately like run away. You know what I mean? Like that's what that reminds me of. You know what I mean? And it's so funny because I just think it's like, I'm going to use this word unironically in this one sense, my first and last time ever, so beta. You know what I mean? Like, truly beta. Like, if you're going to come up here and talk your shit, like, at least have the spine to stay up here for more than 3 seconds. Or else you just seem like one of those toddlers. I don't know. Let's go to move on to the next guest, everyone. Just give us a minute. We got Johnny loading into this stream. Really just looking for one Trump supporter to come up here and have a conversation with us. Richard, thank you so much for the $5 over on PayPal. Richard says you're my new favorite person to follow. I appreciate you for that love, Richard. Show some love to Richard down below. What is going on? Do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
20, and why do you support Trump?
Well, honestly, I really agree with a lot of the bills he's been recently pushing out.
Like what?
Like the bomb ball kids in Africa bill.
Okay, I don't know what he said. I don't know what that means. Obviously he was a troll because he laughed and left. Obviously, guys, if we keep on doing this, like, we're just seriously not going to have any debates. And honestly, I'll end my stream early today if this continues. So usually every day I do around a 4-hour live stream. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not going to do this for 4 hours today. If we can't get like consistent debates going in the next 20 minutes, I'm just going to end it around an hour in. I would like much rather spend my time doing other things, like maybe recording YouTube videos or recording videos for shorts on like Instagram and TikTok. There's just going to be significantly more productive ways for me to spend my time trying to like advocate for a better world and a more like informed like voter base than like wasting my time just, you know, talking to trolls for 4 hours a day. So unfortunately, if like this continues, we're just going to end like really, really soon in the next 20 minutes. And we're going to cut my stream down by a factor of like 3 times. So I mean, let's hope it doesn't continue because we really do just want to talk to some Trump supporters. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next guest, everybody. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
How old are you?
29.
29. What year are you born in?
1996.
Okay, and why the hell do you support the man, the myth, the failure, Trump?
To be honest, I mean, when I was still living in Germany, because I joined the went to the US with 17, I was actually much of an Obama fan, right?
Okay.
Then I kind of looked into Obama.
Do you have like any like Bluetooth device connected to your phone?
Excuse me?
Do you have any type of Bluetooth device connected to your phone?
No.
Okay, it's just you know, it's a little bit iffy, but take it away. Why do you support Trump?
Well, I just feel like he's just much of a better president than any other candidates right now.
Okay, well, obviously you support him because you feel like he's doing a better job right now than Kamala Harris would have been doing if she was elected. But I want to know why. Like, what are the reasons you think that?
Okay, let's just put in effect the big beautiful bill. I kind of like it.
You like
Tax
the most
cuts
expensive bill in American history that's going to kick millions of people off of food stamps, Medicaid, the ACA, and free school lunches in elementary and middle school. Why is that?
Well, I mean, let's be honest. The lunches like in school, they suck anyway. To be honest, that's the one thing that
So you're
Michelle
saying that
Obama
they
does
suck.
good.
Well, guess what? I'd rather have a shitty meal than no meal, and that's also going to be true for a lot of children. And for you to say that we need to deny kids food because you don't think that the
I
food
didn't
tastes
say
good
that.
enough
Don't
is
spin my
absolutely
words.
insane.
Don't spin my words. I said this lunches suck. I didn't.
You
say
said
we
that
should
you
spin
support
any.
revoking free school lunches for
No, I
18
didn't say
million
that.
students because they taste bad.
No, I say I support the big beautiful bill. I didn't say let's take away lunches. That's not
Well,
what I said.
I asked you how you feel about the fact that it takes away the school lunches, and you said that they suck. Meaning that
Yeah,
you
I
support taking
said
away
they
those
suck.
lunches because you think they taste bad.
No, that's not what I said.
How is
anyway.
that not saying the same thing? So do you or do you not support the fact that the big beautiful bill takes away free school lunches for 18 million students in school?
Okay, well, where does it say that?
For sure.
Point me out to the big beautiful bill.
Great, no
Show me
worries, man. In the
I
meantime,
would
guys,
love
make sure
to.
that we're double tapping away on that phone screen.
So, and then the other thing also, while you look that up, you said something about healthcare being cut and what was it? Social security or SNAP benefits, right? You said were cut too?
Yep, SNAP benefits and ACA. Yep.
Yeah, to the people that actually are affordable to just, go to work. Maybe just go to work. Like, I don't know. What's the big problem with that? Just go to work.
Okay, I'll happily respond to that if you give me a second. Okay, phenomenal. So it looks like this is going to be coming from the Congressional Budget Office. If you go on Google and you just simply type in BBB restricts school lunches for 18 million students, You'll find sources from the CBO. You'll find sources from the New Republic. You'll see that this has been affirmed by Republican congressmen. And you can also find this from School Nutrition Association, and as well as the Center for American Progress.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll definitely look that up.
Okay, great. So how do you feel about that?
Well, once I looked it up and I actually read through it, I'll give you my thoughts later on, maybe if we ever have another debate.
Okay, so assuming that what I'm telling you is true, how would it make you feel about the big beautiful bill?
In that, I would not support that.
Okay, so then you don't support what the big beautiful bill.
Well, then I would not support everything about it.
Oh, okay. And then your response to kicking people off of food stamps and healthcare is that they just need to work harder?
Well, people are getting cut off because people take advantage of the system. So those people getting cut off.
That's just simply not true. Why do you say that?
What do you mean? Why? Of course, obviously.
So why do you think that the big beautiful bill is just simply cutting people off that are quote unquote taking advantage of the system? What evidence or reason do you have to believe that claim?
Oh, just being humans, just regular humans. It's common sense.
So you're saying it's just common sense.
Everybody who gets a chance.
So basically, if I was to sit here and tell you that no, the reason that, for instance, there's 17 million people being cut off of the ACA is because the BBB is imposing a federal mandate capping income for qualification for the ACA to $16,000 per year, cutting people off that make above $16,000 per year in all 50 states. Your response is to say, no, Dean, you're wrong. It's not cutting people off that just simply make above $16,000 in all 50 states, but it's rather just cutting people off that take advantage of the system. And the reason why you believe this is quote unquote common sense, even though the reason I believe this is because it's the plain text of the bill, and this has been reaffirmed by institutions that have studied the bill, such as the CPPP, or even the right-leaning Congressional Budget Office associated in Congress.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Well, that's just going to be an anti-intellectual claim made by a man with maybe 3 brain cells, 0 empathy, and no real future as it relates to wanting to invest your time into becoming a smarter guy that co-signs yourself to the betterment of the country, but compared to what you're doing today, which is co-signing yourself to the betterment of a party.
Cool. Whatever you say, man. I mean, if you say I have 3 brain cells, all right, that's what it is.
No, I mean, feel free to prove me where I'm wrong. So, I mean, how about you try to prove yourself right? So, what is the common sense that is leading you to the conclusion that the only reason you think these 17 million Americans are being cut off of healthcare is because they're taking advantage of it?
Yeah. I mean, of course, not all.
So what's your reason to believe that?
Just humans in America, to be honest, they take advantage of everything they can get.
Okay, so like for instance, if Trump were to just abolish all social safety nets tomorrow, you'd say that would be a good thing because it's just kicking people off of them who are taking advantage of them?
No, of course not. No, of course
not. So then
not.
why do you say that for the 17 million people that are being kicked off of the ACA?
Happens. Life happens, man.
Okay, so that's 2 words. It's not a response.
Well, life happens.
Okay, once again, that's just the same
So,
2 words, and it's still not a
myself-
response. Regardless of
Look,
how
I
many
myself
times you
was
repeat,
on-
no. Regardless of how many times you repeat the phrase "life happens," this still isn't explaining why you think that all 17 million people that are being kicked off of healthcare are only being kicked off because they're taking advantage of the
Okay,
system.
let me
Even though
put
you
you
wouldn't
to
say that's
compare-
true if everybody got kicked off of all social safety nets, and the fact that the
Let me-
reason these
let me compare
individuals
that.
are going to be kicked off is because they no longer qualify, is the federal government is going to be reducing the maximum income that you can have to qualify.
Listen, I'm gonna put it an example. So, like I told you before, I lived in Germany, right? There's something called Hartz IV. It might have changed with the name by now, but
I don't understand how talking about anything in Germany is relevant to why you think the individuals being cut off of the ACA in America
give you an
are only
example.
being cut off because of they're taking advantage of the system.
Listen, I'm gonna give you an example. That is it. I'll also give you an example, and then you can move to the next one. That's no problem.
But
So,
this
in
example from
you
Germany,
actually have
it
to
doesn't
prove
bear any
everything.
relevance.
No, just give me a second. So in Germany, right? With that program, they have a similar program in Germany. So you actually have to prove with a lot of paperwork your earnings and everything to even get qualified for the assistance.
That's
Here in
it's
America,
the same thing
you
in
go
America.
online no, listen. In America, you go on a website. It takes you 10 minutes, and you get approved.
Really? Have you done it? Are you covered under the
Yes,
Affordable
I've
Care
done
Act?
it. I was approved, and I was also kicked off because now I got work
Really? So you were covered under the ACA?
for like 2 months. I
Really?
got
Okay.
snapped
So
for 2 months, and
what
then I earned too much
website do you
money.
have? What website do you have to go to qualify for to apply for being covered under the
Snap.gov.
ACA? So wait, Snap.
Well,
That's
I
the
went on
USDA.
Snap.
That has nothing to do with the ACA.
Well, I didn't talk about the ACA.
Well,
I
yeah,
went
we
on-
were.
I
We were
talked
talking about the 17 million Americans being kicked off of healthcare. Yes, you have to be able to prove your income to qualify for healthcare.
Guys, if you keep messing to me here on TikTok, I'm not going to respond. So stop it. Thank you.
So can we talk about that ACA, man? So in order to qualify for the ACA, yes, you have to be able to prove your income, and then also can you tell me how somebody takes advantage of the Affordable Care Act? How does somebody do that?
You just lie on the application because that's the thing in America. They rarely prove anything.
So
Like,
that's
if you
not
earn,
true.
let's say you earn like $50,000 a year, right? And you have to earn like 60,000 to apply. They just say I earn 16,000 and they get approved.
So no, that's not true.
That shouldn't be.
So you actually have to require proof of income to determine your eligibility under the ACA. According to healthcare.gov, what this would look like is A, you have to provide a yearly income estimate. B, you have to provide a W-2 if you work as a W-2 employee. C, you'd have to provide a tax return from the previous year. Or D, you'd have to provide like all 1099s in order to demonstrate your income. So you can't just like lie about your income because you have to prove it, right?
Well, not really, but okay.
Those are literally
So
the
you're
legal.
saying-
Hey, shut
so
up. Those
I'm-
are
I'm
literally.
looking this
That is
up.
literally what is legally required. No, you can't just say not really. That is what is legally required under the ACA. Yes, really.
Mm-hmm. So I'm actually looking this up right now. And kind of shocking, to be honest. I didn't expect that.
So in other words, he made a claim with no evidence.
No. I mean, I'm reading into what you're saying, that 17 million being kicked off, and that's kind of shocking.
Okay. All right. Well, that's one of the reasons why you shouldn't support the big beautiful bill.
Well, main part, to be honest, about supporting it is the tax cut and the no tax over overtime.
So according
Because I do have a lot of tips that I'm getting, and I do work also overtime.
So according to the
So-
University of Pennsylvania, every American making under $51,000 per year will have a lower after-tax income because of all the tax provisions included inside of the inside of the big beautiful bill, as well as we could expect wages to be garnished for employees because tax premiums for the average middle-class American are expected to go up by $26,000 per year. If you work as a W-2 to an employer that covers your health care, well, then they're going to be paying that. And in order to stay in operation, they're either going to have to garnish wages or increase the price of their product. Not to mention that there's other provisions that will increase your increase the expense of living, such as a reduction of the clean energy credits offered under the IRA, which are now being dismantled by the BBB, which are expected to increase the cost of energy for the average American household by around $400 per year. So not only will the average American be making less in their after-tax income, but they'll also be spending more.
So could you repeat that one more time? Not all of it. Just
The average
end
American
part?
will be making less because they'll be taxed more, and they'll also be spending more because things will be more expensive.
Well, things are going to be more expensive either way. That
But this
doesn't
is
really have to
making
be
things
one
even
with it.
more expensive.
Well, we would have to see about that.
We don't have to see about that. We know that's what's going to happen when we roll back the clean energy credits offered under the IRA. It's going to reduce the production of clean energy by 72%. The impact that will have on the power grid as a whole will be an increase in the cost of energy for the average American household by $400 per year.
Mm. All right, listen. I might just head out because I see people already been hating on me. I mean, I'm just trying to.
Great, man. I'll help you out. We're going to move on to the next guest. Here we go, everybody. Just give us a minute to get that next guest up in here, y'all. Dude, these guests today are definitely something. Yo, Kara, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal. I really appreciate you for that love, Kara. That is C-A-R-A. Kara says, thank you for what you're doing, especially in a time so important as this. This mom is really proud of you, even though some of these little immature trolls can't take things seriously. Keep up the good work, young man. Kara, that is incredibly kind of you. Can we get 200 Kara W's down below in that chat while we're working on loading up that next Trump supporter into the live? Thank you so much for the love, Kara. Show some love to Kara down below. Let's go to get that next guest loaded in right now. I would also like to show some love to Richard for the $5 over on PayPal. Thank you for the love, Richard, as well as Christopher with the $5 saying great work. Thank you, Christopher. Then Steven with the $11.11 over on PayPal. Steven says, my daughter loves your live. She watches daily. Can you say hi to Leah? Thanks. Leah, if you're watching, shout out to you as well as your father, Steven. Shout out to Steven and Leah down below in that chat while we're working on getting that next Trump supporter loaded into the live. Make sure if you're in that queue that you're an American adult that is that supports Trump, that is ready and willing to debate. What is up, Jack? Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir, I do.
And that would be a child, so we got to be at least 18. Keep in mind fetuses. I know of your fetus. Just, putting that one out there. Let's go to move on to the next guest. As well as Julian. Thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. If we could get 100 Julian W's down below, that'd be sweet. Thank you so much. As well as I read your message there. I agree that is important to chat about. I'll look a little bit more into that, but let's go to get that next guest, Vince, up in here while we are loading Vince in. Christopher, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal. Let's get 200 Christophers down below. Seriously, Christopher, thank you so much for the love. Christopher says 50% of IVF patients discard embryos after they have their desired children. So why is Trump funding abortion? By their definition, a living embryo is destroyed. So it's funny, Christopher, because your logic there is 100% spot on. That was an argument that me and Parker ran really early on. I guess I don't run as much anymore, but your logic is literally spot on. Great job, Christopher, and thank you for the $20 donation. What's going on, Vince? Do you support Trump?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. So overall, do you think that America would be better off if Kamala Harris was president today?
I don't know.
You don't know. Well, if you're agnostic on that claim, I don't really know what we want to debate. Is there any specific things that Trump has done or is doing that make you support him at all?
Well, yes, actually, that's why I wanted to join and talk to you because I kind of see the point, even though of people taking advantage of the system. I kind of see what they're saying. I don't really have. I would like you to inform me about it because I kind of have anecdotal evidence of people taking it.
So why are you saying you support Trump?
I don't really, but just that one point I think is a fair point that a lot of conservatives make.
Dude, okay. I would rather a low-income family with 4 children take advantage of the system than giving additional trillions of dollars to billionaires that already take advantage of the system.
Fair. I agree.
Right. So then we should disagree with the big beautiful bill. But I mean, unless you have any specific reasons why you support Trump, I am just going to move on to the next guest. But I'll give you one last opportunity to kind of give me any specific reason why you support Trump.
No, I mean, move on because that's
great, Vince. Appreciate you for popping up, everybody. Please only make sure that you're hopping to that queue if you are a Trump supporter. Let's go to get that next guest, Ashton, up in here. Here we go. What's up, Ashton? Do you support Trump?
You're a little fetus.
Goodbye. Moving on to the next guest. Everyone, do be patient. We got Ghost Ranger loading up. And Joel, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal. Let's get 200 Joel W's down below. Thank you so much for the love, Joel.
Yo, Dean, stop vaping, bro. Stop
I don't do that. Shut up. Be quiet. Be quiet, buddy. Be quiet. I don't do that. Just kidding. The conservatives have taken that. They've ruined it because they think I'm serious. Okay. Joel, once again, thank you for the $20 over on PayPal. Show some love to Joel down below. They say, got into a fight with my mom because she randomly decided to ask me for my views on abortion. And then she talked about her conversation and how Joelle is donating in her honor. Thank you for the $20, Joelle, and I understand how that goes. I've also gotten into it a couple times with my own mother. What's up, user? Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
20.
Great. I'll let you take it away here. After I thank Ileana for the $20 over on PayPal as well. Ileana didn't leave a message, just love. Thank you, Ileana. That is L-L-I-A-N-A. Show some love to Ileana down below in that chat, y'all. And take it away. Why do you support Trump?
Because he's taking those 17 million people without begging for money off the type shit.
Okay. So why is removing 17 million low-income Americans off of healthcare a good thing?
They're not Americans. They're illegals.
Okay. What makes you say that?
the statistics. Facts don't care about your feelings, broski.
What statistics? Because as far as I'm concerned, it's a statistical fact that undocumented immigrants don't even qualify for federal benefits like the ACA.
What statistics?
What's that?
What statistics?
Yeah, the ACA.
That's fake media.
The only people that, so that's the bill. That's literally, that is not media. It is the standards of eligibility under the Affordable Care Act.
So you're saying you're okay with 17 million illegals stealing our money?
I'm saying that undocumented immigrants don't even qualify for
They
the
don't
ACA.
pay tax.
They pay $100 billion per year in taxes.
I'll tell you why I support Donald Trump and not that Kamala Harris. Whatever her
What
name
time
is.
it is? What time is it?
It's 4:04.
What state are you in?
I'm in Atlanta.
Atlanta's not a state. Honestly, maybe it's possible that he actually is in America. He literally is from Atlanta, and he's just so stupid that he thinks that's a state. I don't know, man. It wouldn't surprise me. I've seen worse. Paulita, thank you for the $11 over on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love, Paulita. Paulita says, much love from Lithuania. You're fighting the good fight. Thank you, Paulita. Guys, just some love to Paulita down below. That is Paulita. Thank you so much for the love, as well as Aaron with the $5 over on PayPal. And Samantha, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal as well. Thank you so much, Samantha. You are phenomenal. Everybody, show some love to Samantha down below. What's going on, Luke? Do you support Trump?
Oh, what's up, Dean? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Do you support Trump?
I just support Trump in the sense that I do not support Kamala Harris.
How old are you?
I'm 18. I was born May 17th, 2007.
Okay, so you're basically saying that Kamala Harris has done things that are sufficiently bad to the extent of making you support Trump by default. I would love to have this conversation with
bad in the sense that the way we need to structure our country is not picking two sides, but focusing on what we can do to actually make it better. And I think that
so if you think the way that we should structure a country is focusing on things that we can do to actually make it better, then you'd say that your support for Trump is derivative of the idea that he's going to make this country better. So how's Donald Trump going to make this country better?
In the sense of, I think a big root of our country is abortion and violence. And abortion being obviously the biggest part of that. Going into that, racism, violence.
Wait, you think that abortion is racist?
No, I'm talking about violence in our country. Racism is violence. Abortion is violence. And the way the justice system is very violent. The jail, violent.
So why do you support Trump?
Abortion, mainly.
Okay, well, I mean, for sure, he did. So, okay, and you're against abortion?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, phenomenal. Well, see, the thing here is, give me a second here. What's up, Dre? Do you support Trump?
Yep.
Can we finish our conversation before we let other people in live? We haven't done this all stream.
Oh, Luke, it's you. We've talked how many times?
We've never talked.
I remember you. Anyways, so yeah, abortion's super bad, right?
Oh, for sure.
For sure, super murder, correct?
It is 100% murder.
And why is it murder?
Because you are killing a human being.
Okay. Are zygotes human beings?
A human zygote is a human being.
Okay. Or human embryos human beings?
Yes.
Okay. So it would be really violent murder to kill them too, correct?
Yes. And obviously, I know you're going to go in the direction of why aren't we saving every human, and you're talking about the big beautiful bill, and you're talking about why we're cutting kids off of this.
That's not what I'm saying. Actually, don't predict my argument. My argument is simple.
This is what you've done all stream.
Well, Donald Trump wants state-funded IVF. Around 50% of embryos involved in IVF are discarded, meaning there's a couple million embryos per year that are killed. So, what's the trade-off here? Unless you have any reason to say that the life of a fetus is more morally valuable than the life of an embryo, which you can't via your standard, you would say that you'd prefer a view where there's access to abortion for all American women and girls with no state-funded IVF over a view where there is state-funded IVF and no access to abortion.
There should be zero access to abortion. Obviously, as a Roman Catholic, I do not support IVF. You are killing embryos in the process, and that is not a good thing. That needs
right, but because Donald Trump wants state-funded IVF, there'll be more embryos that died than fetuses that would have died if Kamala Harris was elected.
That is not true in the slightest sense.
Absolutely, it is. There's millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of embryos per year that are killed by IVF.
What program supports IVFs the most? Look that up.
Okay, why are you not responding to what I said? Because Donald Trump says he wants state-funded IVF?
There always is something that leads to that. There's always something that goes into that. And just because someone makes a policy about something doesn't mean that they support that general thing. Like, there's always something behind that.
Yeah, Donald Trump supports IVF. He literally wants it to be state funded. That's going to kill like millions and millions and millions and millions.
No, it does not kill
of additional embryos. Yes. I like the practice of IVF. Like ends up in like the in like millions of embryos.
Doesn't Kamala Harris also support IVF?
So she actually didn't run on policy to have it state funded.
But do you think she would?
Do I think like ideologically she supports IDF?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that she ideologically supports IDF. However, pragmatically, it is Trump who ran on the policy to have it be state funded.
Yes. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, so yes, they both would have done the same thing, and I do not support
No,
Trump.
why do you just equivocate between her ideologically supporting it and Donald Trump pragmatically supporting it by passing policy to have it be state funded?
If we're being logical, she... Oh, I gotta go. I gotta leave to the beach, but...
That was a kid. All right, Dre, welcome in.
Yep, what's up?
Hey, man, let's hop into a conversation. But real quick before we do, I need to thank Carolyn for the $20 super chat over at YouTube. Carolyn, thank you for the love. Carolyn says, keep schooling the minions. You are what the right needs to hear. Don't back down. I appreciate you for that love, Carolyn. Everybody show some love to Carolyn down below as well. Susan! This was 9 minutes ago now, but thank you so much nonetheless for the $50 donation over on the temporary Venmo account. Thank you for the love, Susan. Can we please get 500 Susan W's down below in that chat for the $50 donation over on Venmo. She says, loving the Supreme shirt. This actually isn't a Supreme shirt. It just says like the creation. I think it's like for PacSet or something. But thank you for the love, Susan. Show some love to Susan down below. That is so incredibly kind of you. As well as this was a while ago, but Tristan, thank you for the $14 over on Venmo. And happy birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, Tristan. As well as Angel. This was 22 minutes ago with the $3 over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Angel. As well as, let's see here. Jordan with the $5 over on PayPal. Abigail with the $10 over on PayPal. Samantha with the $15 over on PayPal, and another Abigail with a $5. Show some love to Jordan, the 2 Abigails, and Samantha down below in that chat. And Mr. Dre, take it away. Why do you support the man, the myth, the failure, Dipey Donald, otherwise known as the Orange Menace, otherwise known as the decrepit fascist, otherwise known as Donald Trump?
He's pro-Israel. I don't want Iran to have a nuke.
Oh my God. Oh no. Coming out of the gate swinging with
listen. It's a bad situation regardless. I agree, but I don't think that the Dems would have the spine to take out their nuclear sites. I'm just saying.
Would you say the threat of Iran possessing a nuke is like a grave threat to America?
Well, more so to Israel. I don't think they'd have the balls to attack America, but I still think that you weaken Iran, make sure they don't get nukes. Iran is also Russia's ally, right? So you weaken Russia's ally. What happened with Syria was good as well. I don't know, like it's do you think it's a scary thing for them to?
So this is the first thing you're coming out of this is the first thing that you're coming out of the gate with. So it must be really important to you. And because it's so important to you, would you say that if there was an American president that greenlit Iran to further their construction of nuclear weapons, that president should be impeached?
Probably. I don't like the Iran nuclear deal. I think that was retarded what he did it before.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, there we go. Moving on to the next guest, everybody. Let's go to get that next guest, Johnny, up in the box. Everybody just do be patient while we're getting the next guest up in here, y'all. Also, everybody, make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen. Let's try to get up to 1.5 million likes. We're going to go to get that next guest loaded into the live right now, y'all. So everybody just do be patient while we get Maxwell loading in. Phenomenal. Everybody just do be patient. As well as Computer Goodies. Thank you for the $5 donation over on PayPal. Computer Goodies, that is incredibly kind of you. Show some love to Computer Goodies down below. Also, make sure that you're sharing out this live with a handful of friends and go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in that chat with your age. We'll get you pulled up here. Do be patient while we're getting the next guest up. What's going on, Justin? Do you support Trump? Justin is not here. Goodbye, Justin. Go back to spamming MAGA down below that chat if you'd like to join. It's definitely pretty hard to find any Trump supporters right now. Very difficult indeed. Holy shit. I don't know what's making it so difficult. But oh my God, yo, Danielle! Dude, Danielle, thank you so very much for the $100 donation over on PayPal. Jesus, Danielle, could we please get 1,000 Danielle W's down below in that chat? Seriously, Danielle, thank you so much for the love. That is seriously unreal. I do not deserve that in the slightest. Thank you so much for your kindness. Danielle says, I listen every day and I appreciate your patience, intelligence, and commitment to presenting the facts of this diabolically awful administration. You don't only help deprogram the occasional cult member, but help us liberals understand exactly what we're up against. Thank you so much for the kindness, Danielle. While we're moving into this next debate, please, I want to see so many Danielle W spammed in both of the live chats because that is seriously so kind and generous of you. Thank you so much. And the bearded Cigaris, hello.
What's up?
Are you a MAGA man?
I am a Trump supporter.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you consider yourself a patriot?
A patriot? I mean, if in the sense that I love my country and sure.
An American patriot. Would you say that true American patriots support core American values like the Constitution?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, so if you don't support core American values like the Constitution, you're not a patriot, correct?
Yeah. Sure.
So why do you as a patriot support a non-patriot like Trump as president? We know he's not a patriot because he doesn't support the Constitution. We know he doesn't support the Constitution because he's explicitly called for its termination, launched the largest internal attack on the democracy when he tried to rig 2020, and he's explicitly violated the Constitution a handful of times since his term begun less than 160 days ago, including his illegal removal of Abrigo Garcia or his illegal EO repealing birthright citizenship for the children of undocumented immigrants born on American soil.
Well, I wouldn't say that the removal of the born citizenship portion is unconstitutional. It's an interpretation of the Constitution.
Okay, well, the only way to interpret the Constitution in such a way that would end in the conclusion...
Through the Supreme Court.
That would end in the conclusion that the children of undocumented immigrants born in American soil shouldn't qualify for birthright citizenship is to say that they're not people. The reason why I say this is because the 14th Amendment is clear. They say all persons born on American soil are U.S. citizens. So do you think that the children of undocumented immigrants aren't people?
Yes, of course, I think they're people.
So then you think they'd qualify for birthright citizenship, and you would agree with me in saying that Donald Trump's EO is unconstitutional.
No, I would disagree with you.
Well, then you have a contradiction because the 14th Amendment is clear. It says all persons born on American soil are citizens, and then you say that the children of undocumented immigrants are persons, meaning that they would fall into that broader category of all persons, meaning that they'd qualify for birthright citizenship.
They are illegal persons here illegally.
Okay. Well, even if we want to call them quote-unquote illegal persons, for whatever reason, I don't understand why we do that. It just kind of sounds like rhetoric to dehumanize them. Illegal persons still fall under the broader category of all persons. Because as long as they're still a person, then they fall under that broader category of all persons. You have to be able to like not include the children of undocumented immigrants in the category of all people, all persons, in order to say that they don't qualify for the 14th Amendment. So in other words, the only way you could defend the constitutionality of his EO is to defend the proposition that the children of undocumented immigrants born here aren't people.
No, that's a bad take because you're literally making me look like an asshole thinking that I'm not thinking that they're persons, which I do. I believe that they are owed due process. But I don't believe that that amendment falls under them.
Can you read us the 14th Amendment?
All persons born or naturalized in the U.S. There
you go. There you go. That's all we need to know. Very simple logic. Children of undocumented immigrants are persons. 14th Amendment, all persons. Boom.
I'm just going to disagree with you on that.
Okay, why?
I can't agree.
Go ahead and give me your argument to disclude the children of undocumented immigrants from qualifying under the 14th Amendment to uphold the constitutionality / legality of Donald Trump's executive order. And as soon as you do, I'll tell you exactly why you're wrong.
I mean, it doesn't matter what I say, you're going to tell me I'm wrong. But somebody that comes across the border, has a baby, that same day, and then literally just to have their child have a citizenship in America, that is not what the 14th Amendment was intended for. It was intended for slaves.
For the children of slaves?
Correct.
I have a question. Are you a child of a slave?
No, I am not a child of a slave.
So you don't have birthright citizenship.
Well, I do because my parents are citizens, right?
Wait. You don't have birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment.
I don't get what you're
You said that the 14th Amendment was just intended for the children of slaves. You're not a child of a slave. This means that you don't have birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment. Right? Yes or no? Does the 14th Amendment apply to you or not?
It does because my family are citizens.
Wait,
right?
but that's going to be another provision rooted somewhere else in like the legal code of what makes a citizen in this country, just not in the 14th Amendment, since you said the 14th Amendment specifically only applies to the children of slaves.
That is what the intent was. That's what
and you're saying because the children, and then you're saying because the children,
it also falls to American citizens.
Oh, okay. So you're basically saying that if you're not a child of a slave, you still qualify for the 14th Amendment because it says all persons born in this country are citizens. Well, this also covers the children of undocumented immigrants.
I don't know. I understand your point.
It's because it's a really easy and clear one. The amendment says all persons born in America are citizens. The only way you could disqualify somebody's eligibility from this amendment is to suggest that they're a non-person. Okay? Because the only way that they could disqualify is by falling outside of that category of all persons.
I don't know. I don't believe that it was intended for criminals.
So you're just saying that it wasn't intended for that. Okay. All right. Well, if constitutional rights weren't intended for criminals, then you don't think that criminals deserve due process, so you think it's okay to send somebody to death row without seeing a judge first.
No. I didn't say that criminals aren't owed due process. There are specific amendments that protect.
Wait, you said criminals. It's not intended for criminals. Okay, so for what crime are the children of undocumented immigrants born in this country guilty
Not the
of?
children. The children are not criminals. It is the parents.
Okay, so you said that the 14th Amendment is not intended for criminals, and the children of undocumented immigrants born in America aren't criminals, so thereby the 14th Amendment was intended for the children of undocumented immigrants, just not intended for their parents. And guess what? The children of the parents of children born in this country that are undocumented immigrants, the 14th Amendment doesn't apply to them.
Yeah, and then they get easily a pathway to citizenship once their child is a born citizen.
But is that covered under the 14th Amendment? No. So we're particularly discussing the 14th Amendment and who qualifies for it. The first reason you gave me why they don't qualify for the 14th Amendment is saying that, it was intended for the children of slaves. We refuted that argument by you agreeing that you qualify for the 14th Amendment even though you're not a child of a slave. And then your second argument was to say, well, it wasn't intended for criminals. Okay, well, that argument is just categorically incorrect because the children of undocumented immigrants born in this country aren't criminals. So what's the new argument? Why don't you think that the 14th Amendment applies to the children of undocumented immigrants? I'm telling you, the only argument you can make here is to say that they're not persons.
No. Okay, so let me revise my position on this because your position is that what was done in the Supreme Court is unconstitutional. My position on this...
No, I never said that what was done in the Supreme Court was unconstitutional. I'm saying that Donald Trump's EO stating that the children of undocumented immigrants born on American soil aren't citizens is unconstitutional.
Right, and then he got injunction by state federal judges, and then it went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled that it was unjust.
SCOTUS didn't rule. No, that's actually not true. So SCOTUS didn't rule on the legality of Donald Trump's EO. SCOTUS ruled that nationwide injunctions are only regional. So, I mean, I think that was manipulative. I think that this was just obviously a strategy to keep his EO in effect in some parts of this country. However, because it didn't rule on the legality of Donald Trump's EO, I wouldn't say that it's unconstitutional. Just like incredibly, like obviously legally coercive and shitty. But once again, we are debating the legality of his EO. And so far, you have tried to convince me that that EO is constitutional. And I have given you multiple counter responses to every single argument you've given me insofar as our conversation. To
So if it
demonstrate
was
that you are wrong.
unconstitutional, why isn't Donald Trump being impeached for this?
That's a really good question. Now you're seeing where I'm coming from.
So no, I'm asking the question like truly. What if you truly believe
because a
you have
lot
facts that it's
because the
not-
Republicans in Congress think like you do, where they see something that is obviously unconstitutional and they don't care.
It's not that I don't care. I just fundamentally disagree that it is
Yeah, but well, what are the reasons that you disagree?
It's intent. I'm never going to be able to convince you that the intent of that amendment was literally for people that were citizens having children on this land and for the slaves, because that was around the time that that amendment was ratified.
Okay, so when they say all persons, they don't actually mean all persons. Right?
I guess.
Yeah. You have to explicitly reject the Constitution in order to say that it's not unconstitutional. Words matter, bro. Guess what? It says all persons. I don't know what to tell you. You have to argue that they're not persons, or you have to reject the Constitution in order to say that it's not unconstitutional. We've been going in this loop now for like 15 fucking minutes. So many people have left the stream because you're boring, because you're obviously wrong, and you're rejecting the Constitution in order to affirm the legality and the constitutionality of said EO. Dude, I could do this too. I want you to give me an example of anything illegal that any Democrat has ever done.
Anything illegal that any Democrat has done.
Yes, ever.
I mean, Bill Clinton with a 17-year-old Monica Lewinsky.
Monica Lewinsky wasn't 17.
Questionable.
I don't actually think that is questionable. Monica.
No, it's true. It was a big scandal on that whole front that she was around during that age.
She was
16, 17.
She was 24.
When she started.
She was 24.
When she started going to
She
the
was
White
24.
House.
Okay. Okay. So she was 24 in 1997, but you're saying that she was under the age of 18 when she started going to the White House. Maybe this was like potential coercement. Okay, I'm not going to use that as an example to show my hypothetical because I don't want to like use like a claim of like P3ophilia or coercement of minors in order to make my point. Would you give me another example?
Of something illegal that a Democrat did. I mean, what was the name of that Democratic mayor from New York? Big scandal on his I don't know how to say it on TikTok Live because I don't want to get booted. But you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The mayor of New York who stepped down because of the investigation on his what was the name of the mayor? God, I can't freaking think. His brother is what used to be a CNN anchor.
Cuomo?
Yes, Cuomo.
Okay, Andrew Cuomo. What about him? He was a governor, by the way.
Governor, yes. Not bad.
And what did he step down for?
For sexual harassment.
Okay. Can you give me an example of like something illegal that a Democrat has done that isn't like sexual? Like, because I'm just okay. I'll explain to you the point that I wanted to make. But you're like only bringing up examples of like sexual harassment and pedophilia, and I don't want to like describe what I want like my retort to your original argument as it relates to like sexual harassment or pedophilia. But anyways, like the argument that I wanted to purport to you was like basically the idea that if you could give me an example of something illegal that a Democrat has ever done, I could basically say that it wasn't illegal. And if you retorted by saying, well, here's like the plain text of the law that describes exactly what they did that was illegal, I would then just reject the plain text of that law and say it was intended to mean something other than what it literally says. Okay, and the reason why I wanted to try to do that to you, I just don't want to distort like an allegation of SA or P3 is because that is exactly what you're doing as it relates to Donald Trump's executive order banning birthright citizenship for the children of undocumented immigrants. In order for you to argue that the EO is not unconstitutional, you have to explicitly state that this amendment, the 14th Amendment, means something other than what it literally says, okay? Because it literally says that all persons born in this country qualify for birthright citizenship. And then your retort for that is saying that, no, it doesn't literally mean all persons, even though it literally says all persons.
Okay, so let me go this route because, you know, potentially I am going to say that you're correct, right? You are correct that this is unconstitutional based on the interpretation of what it literally says. My position still stands on it that if this bill is unconstitutional, that we need to make an amendment to it that doesn't allow somebody to run across the border and just give birth and have the right to their child, because
okay, well, now you're saying that you just legally, you morally don't support giving citizenship to the children of undocumented immigrants. Well, I mean, that would call for like taking the proper legal channels in order to amend the Constitution. Okay, right? We obviously can't just say because Donald Trump doesn't like the Constitution and you agree with it that you don't like the Constitution either, that you could just throw the Constitution out of the fucking window. Like this just emboldens fascism. Like this is exactly what Donald Trump did with the 2020 election. He didn't like the fact that Biden won, so then he tried to just throw all rules, regulations, and articles of the Constitution out the window, and when he attempted to install fake votes for himself in Congress. Like, are you saying from Donald Trump's perspective, what he did was just because he disagreed with the civil and electoral practices of this country that allowed Biden to win based upon not only winning the popular vote, but also the vote in the Electoral College?
I don't want to go down the rabbit hole on the 2020 election. Let's stick to this amendment. If it is found
but it's like
unconstitutional, right? Then I would agree with you, right? That the proper channels need to be gone through to be able to.
Okay, but I don't know. It's not if it's found to be unconstitutional. It just explicitly contradicts the Constitution. Like what is a better standard of evidence to show that an action from a president is unconstitutional outside of it explicitly contradicting the Constitution? Why are you not? Why are you not? We don't need to be a constitutional expert to understand that if something explicitly contradicts the Constitution, it's unconstitutional. Like, would you say that if Biden passed an EO banning the ability for every American citizen to own any and all guns, that would be unconstitutional?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, and why would that be unconstitutional?
Because of the Second Amendment.
And what about the Second Amendment would make the EO banning any and all guns from being owned by any American unconstitutional?
Because the right for people to bear arms shall not be infringed.
Oh, so in other words, you're saying that EO would be unconstitutional because it explicitly contradicts the Second Amendment, correct?
Yes, correct.
So if an executive order from a president explicitly contradicts the Constitution, it's unconstitutional, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So when Donald Trump's executive order explicitly contradicts the Constitution because it revokes birthright citizenships from people born on American soil, when the Constitution, specifically the 14th Amendment, very clearly says that all persons born on American soil deserve birthright citizenship.
If a team, and just to go back to the Second Amendment example, if a team of constitutionalist experts that write articles on this deemed whatever that bill was to be constitutional, right? And then it went to the Supreme Court and it stayed in place, then who am I to argue the constitutionality of it?
Okay, well, that's not what you told me when I asked you the question if the EO passed, would it be unconstitutional? Your response was that it'd be unconstitutional because it explicitly contradicts the Constitution. Now, if you're saying that you need to just leave this up, now, well, yeah, we're talking about your opinion because I'm doing an internal critique of you, your worldview, and your opinions. If your opinion is that that EO would be unconstitutional because it explicitly contradicts the Constitution, well, then your opinion would also thereby also have to be, as it relates to Donald Trump's EO, that that's unconstitutional as it explicitly contradicts the Constitution as well. If you don't hold that same opinion, then you're just holding a different standard as it relates to the constitutionality of one EO compared to another EO, even though both EOs are doing the same thing, which is explicitly contradicting the plain text of the Constitution.
Sure. It is unconstitutional. I mean, I could take the L on that and say that EO was unconstitutional.
Okay, all right. The EO is unconstitutional. And then earlier in the conversation, you said, well, if it was unconstitutional, why hasn't he been impeached for this? Basically telling me and everybody else listening that you think if a president does something unconstitutional, such as an EO banning birthright citizenship or banning guns, they should be impeached. So now that I've got you to concede that that was unconstitutional, you're now going to turn around and call for his impeachment, correct?
Sure.
Okay, so then you're no longer a Trump supporter because you think he should be thrown out of office.
I'm still a conservative.
Well, that's fine, but what does my background say? How the hell do you still support Trump? You don't support Trump.
I support a lot of stuff that he does.
But overall...
there's a lot of stuff
But
that
overall, if you think he should be impeached, you're not a Trump supporter.
I mean, if it is unconstitutional, yes, he should be impeached.
Impeached for this, basically telling me and everybody else. Let's listen back. You said of the Constitution, you're just holding a different standard as it relates to the constitutionality of one EO compared to another EO, even though both EOs are doing the same thing, which is explicitly contradicting the plain text of the Constitution.
Sure. It is unconstitutional. I mean, I could take the L on that and say that EO was unconstitutional.
Okay, all right. Oh, that's fine, but what does my background say? How the hell do you still support Trump? You don't support Trump.
I support...
You think he should be impeached, you're not a Trump supporter.
I mean, if it is unconstitutional, yes, he should be impeached. That's it. If it is unconstitutional. And again, I'm going to just reiterate, it's not up to me to deem that unconstitutional, right? That would be up to a team of experts.
Well, that's fine, but what does my background say? How the hell?
A lot of stuff that he does.
But overall...
What's going on? We're gonna playing this on repeat. I mean, if it is unconstitutional, yes, he should be impeached.
So you said if it's unconstitutional, it should be impeached. I was actually just trying to play another clip, but I lost it. The first clip that you said was that it is unconstitutional. So you said it is unconstitutional, and then you said if it's unconstitutional, he should be impeached. What does this tell us what your opinion is? Your opinion is that he should be impeached because it's your opinion that individuals that do unconstitutional things as president should be impeached, and it's your opinion that that executive order coming from Trump banning birthright citizenship for the children of undocumented immigrants is unconstitutional. Thereby, in culmination of these facts, your opinion would be that Donald Trump should be impeached. Your mic is muted. Yeah. So thereby, the culmination of these facts would be that your opinion is that Trump should be impeached.
If it is unconstitutional,
you agree that it was unconstitutional. Your opinion is that it's unconstitutional.
I agree that you make a good point that it's...
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. Dude, I don't even know. Like, he literally said it was unconstitutional. Then he said if it was unconstitutional, it should be impeached. Everybody... What is 2 plus 2? Okay. What is going to be the result of those two opinions that he shared with us? Oh my God. Okay, actually, I gotta bring this guy up real quick. I gotta bring this guy up real quick. He's not a Trump supporter. I just gotta talk to this guy real quick. What's going on?
Yo, Dean, what's up, buddy? Hey, Kaylee, I'll be right back.
I'd like to read some DMs from you.
Yeah, I'd like to press you on why you support the systematic slaughter of innocent sentient beings for your taste pleasure. So in the case of innocent in the case of non-human animals, right? Oh, do you not want to get pressed on veganism? Are you running right now?
I want to read
So in the case of innocent
so
in the case of innocent non-human animals, right? You think it's okay to systematically force them into gas chambers, hang them upside down, and slice their throats open by the billions for taste pleasure, right? Now, if we were doing the exact same thing to humans, presumably you would be against that, right? Doing the exact same thing, all else equal. Forcing humans into just got done working out. Forcing humans into gas chambers, hanging them upside down, and slicing their throats open. Presumably, you would think that is wrong. So that means there's a morally relevant difference between humans and animals that justifies systematically forcing animals into gas chambers and slicing their throats open, but not humans. So can you tell me that difference? Or set of differences?
June 13th.
Are you running? Are you seriously running right now? Are you just going to refuse to engage? I also want to talk about your objection that you ran the other day on the vegan.
I'll put you on mute if you interrupt me again.
Are you just gonna run? Really?
I want to read some DMs.
Hold on, are you really this scared? You don't.
Okay, he's not gonna shut up, so I'll put him on mute. June 13th, 7:46 p.m. DM from him.
Hey, I'm just gonna leave if you're not gonna engage on veganism, right?
Okay, if you want to leave, that's fine. June 13th, he says, debate a competent vegan.
If your community can't see that you're clearly scared right now,
dude, just shut up for 30 seconds. He says, debate a competent.
Bro, you're running. I'm here to debate you on veganism. Why are you running? Your audience can see you're scared.
Just hang out.
Can you answer the question?
Can you answer
the question?
Hang out for 45 seconds.
If you're not going to engage with me on veganism,
then feel free to leave, man. He says on June 13th.
So to be clear, you're scared.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. Can you hang out and just relax for 30 seconds?
You cannot defend your systematic slaughter of innocent sentient beings. You can't defend it. You're running away right now.
Let's calm down.
This is humiliating. So, Dean, what is the morally relevant difference between humans and animals such that it is justified to systematically force innocent sentient beings into gas chambers and slice their throats open, but not humans? Why is it okay in the animal case, but not the human case? You can make the silly faces, bro. But you're running right now. You are refusing to engage.
Thank you for speaking. Now I'm gonna speak.
Yeah, are you gonna answer the question? I don't care if you're gonna speak. I just want you to.
We're gonna go back and forth. Okay.
Yeah, as long as you answer the question, of course.
Bring it down. Bring it down a notch, bud. Let me finish. Stop being.
Yeah. So are you gonna answer the question or no?
So the very first thing I said is I want to read some DMs from this.
So are you gonna?
He said. On June 13th, debate a competent vegan on veganism. PUSSY. June 13th at 8 p.m. He says, "You're a piece of shit."
I do hold to that.
Who supports the systemic torture, exploitation, slaughter of innocent animals?
You're running. Are you going to answer the question?
Then later on June
Are you going to answer the
13th,
question? Are you going to keep running?
He says,
Dean's running.
Debate
Dean's
a
running.
smart vegan. PUSSY. June 14th.
He's an animal abuser.
After no response from me. The same thing. Debate a competent vegan. PUSSY.
Knows he can't because last time he did.
With no response from me.
He got blown out on June
14th,
channel. You guys can look it up.
Later that evening, he says, don't you want to get wrecked for being a Holocaust supporter?
And admits he has no
response on the 14th. At least you guys know.
And he's running right now.
You can't defend your support for the animal Holocaust.
Running. This is humiliating.
And then he says,
he refuses to engage.
Refuses to engage. PUSSY want to try to defend your support of the Holocaust.
Yeah, no, you can't, and you're proving it right now by running.
And no response from me again.
You're literally refusing to engage.
He says, "You're running from me.
Are you going to
defend your support of the Holocaust?"
You think this is embarrassing for me? You're literally proving.
And then
you are proving my point right now. You're running.
And then yesterday,
just so everybody knows.
And then yesterday, there's no way you're this stupid.
Because he knows he will get wrecked.
And then yesterday,
just like he has before.
Then yesterday again at 10 p.m.
on Goons,
he says, "You're gonna engage with me of how much of a moron you are, and just completely ignore anybody that could press you. Animal abusing scumbag."
You think this is more embarrassing for you or me because you are proving my?
This is at this point. This is like 50 DMs that he sent me without a response.
Literally.
And then he says today,
proving my point.
He sent another 500 essay today this morning. I'm not even going to read that.
I'm debunking your
calling me a moron and a PSSU.
I'm debunking your trash objection. Now,
and then again today, he sends me a text saying you're a moronic animal.
So
abuser.
Everybody can see he's running. And
so in totality,
he absolutely refuses.
In totality, the guy down here on the live right now has sent me about 200 DMs
against a cop
in the last 2 weeks, calling me a moron, calling me a PUSSY, calling me a scumbag, saying I love the Holocaust.
Of course you are. Of course you are.
Okay.
And I can prove it.
Okay.
Now, are you going to engage or are you going to keep running?
How about we just calm down?
Oh, so you're running. Look at all that. He did all that just to not engage and run.
I don't
You know you can't defend your position. You just read all that to prove my point. Do you realize that? That you just read all that to prove my point that you refuse to engage. Now, are you going to answer my question
I'm getting attacked by PETA, everybody. What do I do?
See there, he's just going to try to meme and laugh and make these funny faces, but he will refuse to engage with a competent vegan because last time he did, he got wrecked. And you can look it up. It's on Goons and Hikers channel on YouTube. It's called TikToker Dean Concedes to Veganism. He refuses to engage against competent, philosophically content vegans. He won't do it. Now, again, Dean, are you going to answer my question?
If you tell me why you've sent me 500 DMs in the last 3 weeks with no response, calling me a Holocaust supporter, calling me a moron, calling me a PUSSY, calling me a scumbag with like no response. Seriously, you're averaging like over 60 DMs a day. You are probably spending, like, let's assume that you're awake for like 14 hours a day. You're probably spending like 6 or 7 of those hours just like spamming my DMs with insults. If you could tell me why, I'll have a chat.
Yeah, I'd love to tell you why, because I knew it would get you to respond and I knew it would get me up here, which it did. It worked, and you've proven my point on multiple things now. One, you've proven my point that you are refusing to engage against a competent vegan. And two, you've proven my point that I knew by messaging you, things like that, that it would get you to engage and bring me up here, which it worked. And I'm now...
So did you know that on TikTok, like they have pretty restrictive like terms of service for...
I'll just give you one more try.
For DMs.
I'll just give you one more try.
And under all of these DMs, it has the message,
I'll just give you
tap
one
here to report or block the sender. I could report every single one of these messages and get your account banned. I might do that for fun. Because seriously, right now, like I seriously see that message that says report the message like on 35 messages. I could report all these and your account is like, oh my God, guys. No, look at this. This is the DMs with him. This is the DMs with him. This is all in the last 2 weeks.
Can't see how pathetic this is. I don't know what to say. If it's not more clear that you're running, I seriously don't know what to say.
I'm scared. I'm scared of you. I'm terrified of you, bro. You're fucking scary. You're a nut job. Okay, here's my actual question. How do you expect...
This is my last time asking. Are you going to engage? Yes,
how do you expect...
Are you going to answer the question?
How do you expect to win more people over to veganism acting like this? Like, I want to ask a genuine question to everybody watching. Does this attitude, right, make you want to be vegan at all? Does this attitude bring you closer to veganism, or does this attitude push you further away from veganism? Right, because like this attitude
as everyone can
definitely it just like explain how you think this attitude is going to ultimately make like a larger portion of society vegan. Explain how your attitude is going to make a larger portion of society vegan.
Yeah, so as everyone can see, Dean is proving my point and running away from me. He refuses to engage on the topic on veganism to a competent vegan because he knows he will get absolutely humiliated like he has in the past. You can look it up on YouTube. It's a Goons and Hikers channel called TikToker Dean Concedes to Veganism. He is running away. He will never engage because he knows he will be humiliated, and he cannot answer Name the Tray. I just released a video covering his latest objection, quote unquote, of veganism that fails. You can watch it. If you don't want to support the systematic slaughter of innocent sentient beings, go vegan. You are not a progressive if you support oppression and slaughter of innocent sentient beings. Dean, continue.
You're actually the one running away from a debate on veganism.
Continue to be a man.
You're the one running away from a debate on veganism. The reason that you're the one running away from a debate on veganism is because he literally ran. He literally ran. That is funny. He literally ran away from a debate on veganism. That is insane. So the reason why I'm saying that he just literally ran away from a debate on veganism is because I was asking him the question on how he thinks that his attitude will push more people in society to be vegan to reduce the level of harm to sentient non-human animals. That is a very fair question for a vegan. Because ultimately, the purpose of a vegan isn't only to ideologically align what they find to be rational, but also to like empirically push more people towards that view for ultimate overall harm reduction. And it's funny because here's what I'll say. He was calling me like the scumbag because I don't want harm reduction of killing sentient non-human animal lives. And he compared what I'm doing to the Holocaust. Well, as we could all agree, his attitude there pushes less individuals towards veganism and more people away from veganism. Meaning that he's willfully pushing more people into supporting the Holocaust under his view. This would be synonymous with me telling you all that you should be Nazis. That's essentially what he was just doing under his view. And then he left and he ran away after telling you all to be Nazis. So we're gonna go and get that next Trump supporter up here. I had to talk to that guy. I mean, it wasn't much talking because he couldn't keep his mouth shut for more than 5 seconds. And then the 5 seconds that his mouth was shut was when I was muting him. But that guy's off that guy's just off the rails, man. What's up, Crypto? You support Trump?
Yeah, I sure do.
All right, man, you got a little bit of an echo. Could you like disconnect?
Yeah, well, it's my
Bluetooth?
son watching you. He adores you, man. He loves you. My son is actually a liberal. I'm not.
Okay, you got a little bit of an echo here.
Man, my son, he talks about you all the time, Dean. And actually, you actually have came over to my my other account.
Wait, one second, man. I'm so sorry. Right now, my YouTube chat, I see like a good like 5 or 6 people, very loud 5 or 6 people, not the majority, very small amount, spamming L Dean. So I took the L because he came up here, shouted at the top of his lungs, and then ran away? Good Lord. Oh my goodness gracious. Come on, you guys. Let's be better than that. Truly, let's be better than that. Okay. All right. You got a little bit of an echo, Crypto. I would love to have a chat with you about why you support Trump. However, if you have that echo, it may make the conversation a little bit difficult. Is there, by the way, I muted you. You could unmute yourself just because of the echo. If there's anything that you could do to help us here by like maybe turning your phone down or disconnecting any Bluetooth device connected to your phone, that would be phenomenal. Do you think that's something that you might be able to do? Let's see if we can do that. In the meantime, everybody, make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen. All right, y'all. We're going to move on to... Oh, wait. Actually, we already have this guy up here. Is it better? Test, test, test. Cryptosaur, are you here? I would love to talk to this guy. Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Test? Actually? Okay, the echo's negligible. I'm just going to mute you when I'm talking. And that should be fine. We should have a fine debate. But real quick, before we hop into the debate, there's 2 people that I got to thank. Sid! Dude, thank you so much for the $100 over on Venmo, Sid. Sorry, not Venmo, YouTube Super Chat. Sid, that is so incredibly kind of you. Let's get 1,000 Sid W's down below in that chat. Thank you so much for the love, Sid. Sid says, I've gotten to the point of realization that there's some MAGA who just can't be bothered to realize their views are harmful. Unfortunately, that's a lot. There are a lot in my family. It feels extra icky recently. No, same, Sid. I understand exactly how you feel. Thank you so much for the $100 super chat. That is seriously so kind of you guys. Let's show some love to Sid down below. As well as Dion. Thank you so much for the $200 super chat over on YouTube. Jesus, Dion. Dion says 1 DM equals $1. Thanks for the countless hours of entertainment dealing with these weirdos. Dude, Dion, that is so crazy. Thank you for the crazy, crazy, crazy love. I want to see at least 2,000 Dion W's down below in that chat. Seriously, thank you so much for the love, Dion. You are spectacular. Show some love to Dion down below in that comment section right now, as well as Raul. Thank you for the $25 over on PayPal, saying thank you for defending Latinos against the hateful MAGA administration. Thank you for your kindness, Raul. Show some love to Sid, Dion, and Raul down below in that comment section right now, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Seriously, I do not deserve that level of love. You guys are so incredibly kind. And then also, if you're watching and you want to support me, you can find my PayPal in the link tree in my bio. I get 100% of the proceeds that go straight to me, as well as you'll get a notification at the top of this phone where I could read off your name and any and all attached messages. But anyways, go ahead and take it away, man. Why do you support Trump?
Because he doesn't give a fuck.
Okay, we should want a president that gives a fuck.
About what?
About the country? About everybody in the country?
Now, he cares about
the world?
the country.
About geopolitical politics? About foreign affairs?
He cares about
everything.
He cares about the country. He cares about geopolitical politics and everything else. He agrees with everything that you're saying. But he's the kind of individual that doesn't care about what the media says.
About what the media says. I think he cares about what his base thinks because he shills out to them so hard. If he didn't care about what his base thinks, maybe he wouldn't lie to them and say that the big beautiful bill included no tax on tips. Maybe he wouldn't have lied to them and told them that he won the 2020 election. Maybe he wouldn't have lied to them and promised them that he was going to slash grocery prices on day one, or told them that he was going to end the war between Russia and Ukraine in less than 24 hours. I think he definitely cares about what his base thinks.
All right.
So maybe there's like more like in-depth reasons why you support Trump. I'm open ears, man. I'd love to try to change your mind.
Well, I mean, he signed crypto, made crypto the most, the capital of the world. That's one of the.
What did he
signed
do?
that into the executive order? You understand that, right?
Wait, so what did his executive order on crypto do? Tell us, man.
Well, it's on the top of my page. You can watch it.
You posted a video about it?
Yeah, I sure did. It's right there on the top of my page. It's pinned to it's the first one pinned.
Forming an internal working group to make crypto, to make America the world capital in crypto under your leadership.
Okay, so it's an executive order to buy crypto.
Making crypto the capital of the world.
Okay, so it's an executive order to allocate like some federal funds to buy a bunch of crypto to be held by the Treasury. Now, so the positive outcome of this for people that like trade crypto would be like shooting up the price of crypto, right? Well, what have we seen the price of crypto done since his inauguration day? It's kind of gone down and remained stagnant.
Well, yes and no.
Absolutely.
Do you follow Coach JV?
I don't know who Coach JV is. I just know that crypto has not gone boom because I have crypto. Here's like a cold wallet. It's called a ledger. I have some crypto on here from way back
that's
in the
about
day.
to get shut down.
My ledger.
You're gonna be part of the sheep that.
What?
I mean, individuals that have cold wallets and this and that. All that's about to change.
Okay, why?
Because it's not safe.
It's the safest way to hold crypto.
No, that's what they want you to believe.
So why is my crypto not safe?
They don't want you to have it on the exchanges. When they close the exchanges and they keep individuals out from getting crypto, that's what they want. They want you to put it out there and put it on some cold device. That way, I mean, you could lose your cold device, due to some natural disaster or some storm or whatever or whatnot. It's not connected online.
Right, but the point is that it's not connected online.
So you
that nobody
lose
can
it
hack
forever. And how many times are we having a natural disaster happening right here in the United States? How many times are we getting hit with a tornado, freaking earthquake, a monsoon or whatever? So you could lose your crypto.
Right, but like the point,
never be able to retrieve it again.
But the point is that it's not connected to the internet, so that nobody could like hack into it and steal it. Like nobody could hack into this. It's cold. It's
You could lose it, and everybody else would lose it. You know what I'm saying? It would be a loss forever. It'd be like sending crypto to a dead wallet.
Well, you can lose a cold wallet, but that's like the risk that you accept to like mitigate the risk of getting hacked. But I have an idea. Nobody watching truly cares about crypto. And I want to get your takes on other things. Give us your takes on things related to Trump outside of crypto.
Oh, he's taking care of. He's like taking control of the Gaza Strip. You know what I'm saying? I told them to build houses on that shit. Like,
Oh,
let's go straight full development. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Rule with an iron fist.
That's you
Me
like that.
personally,
Yeah.
I wish I could hold the position of Donald Trump. If I had his position, I would rule with an iron fist, literally.
Okay, what's your address? And the reason I'm asking you for your address is because in less than 24 hours, I'm going to be at your door with a bunch of guys with guns, and I'm going to tell you that your house is now my house, and in less than 24 hours, these guys with guns are going to take in a bulldozer and just completely level it, and then I'm going to build a new Riviera, maybe a swimming pool for me and my family, and that's just me ruling with an iron fist. Obviously, you should support my plan here because this is exactly what Donald Trump wants to do to the
I think
Gaza
French
Strip.
fries are cold.
What's that?
Huh? I'm talking about my French fries being cold. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. What was you saying?
Yeah, no, you just told us that you support Donald Trump's plan to like forcefully relocate all the Palestinians off the Gaza Strip, force them to Egypt and Jordan, give them no right to return, take their land, level.
Well,
it,
you
build
know,
it there, and give
the
them land.
Palestinian, okay, so the Palestinians, Gaza Strip, whatever, whatnot.
Oh, then also,
The
I'm so sorry.
You know,
Just
the
super
Iranians,
quickly.
they can't have nuclear weapons. You know that, right? You know
The
that they can't
Iranians
go
having
full
nuclear. What does that have to do with Donald Trump's plan to ethnically cleanse the Gaza Strip?
No, let's fast forward. We got to stay up to times, right? So let's get to the Iran, right?
Okay. Well, now we're talking about Iran. Would you say if a president greenlit Iran to further their construction of nuclear weapons, that they should be?
Yeah,
impeached?
we can't have Iran having nuclear weapons, bro.
So if a president of America,
Because if Iran gets nuclear weapons, they believe that through the bloodshed of all mankind, that their Messiah will rise to power.
Okay, well, actually, it's kind of similar in the Christian Bible. If you've ever read Revelation, like the second coming of Jesus Christ is going to be like noted from like the onset of the end of time. But anyways, we go back to what we were just saying.
Yeah, but
you
we
said
can't,
that Iran.
we
One moment.
cannot. I mean, me personally,
one
it doesn't
moment.
matter. It could be the Russians, it could be China, it could be freaking
Okay.
Japan, whoever.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
If an American president greenlit Iran to further
I got to
their
tie my shoes here. Hold on a second. Go ahead.
Why did you tell us that? That was.
Well, I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt. You just kind of like just went through it, and I was gonna say I was gonna tie my shoes. Just 1 second. Hold on, I gotta put the jelly in the fridge. 1 second.
Do the bunny ears, and then do the loop, and then do it twice so it won't come untied.
You like llamas? Are you into llamas?
What the fuck is going on?
Anyways, go ahead.
So would you say?
What'd you say?
Would you say if there was a president that greenlit Iran into constructing nuclear weapons, that they should be impeached?
Oh, but that already happened.
Yeah, Donald Trump did that when he pulled us out of the.
That already happened, bro. Don't you know? Barack Obama had Gaddafi.
I don't even. What's Gaddafi?
Killed, bro.
Who? There's no tangible conversation to be had here. Sir, how many?
I know. We've talked before, and like I was going by I'm just Jimmy Moore. Remember?
No, I don't remember you. How many continents are there?
You don't remember having that conversation with I'm just Jimmy Moore? You asked me why I supported Trump, and then you gave me a question like how many countries are in the world or how many continents are in the world or something like that, and I gave a
how many continents are there?
I said 7.
Name them. He's left the app. I can only assume he left the app to go to Google. Dude, goodness gracious, everybody. Goodness gracious. What are we doing, dude? What are we doing, guys? This is just completely outrageous. We're going to go ahead and kick him and move on to Thomas. I can't do this to myself. I can't. James, thank you so much for the $15 over on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love, James. Let's get 150 James W's down below. Thank you so much for supporting me and supporting the stream. As well as Ann, thank you for the $25 donation over on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love, Ann. Everybody watching, can we show some love to Ann too? Show some love to James and Ann. Thank you both. Thank you both for the love. That is an incredibly kind gesture from the both of you. Thank you so much. You guys are quite phenomenal. Show some love to James and Ann while we're focused on getting this next Trump supporter to join the live. As well as Molly, thank you for the $1 over on Venmo 45 minutes ago, and Jay Lynn with the $5 over on Venmo 40 minutes ago. Thank you guys so much. If you're watching and you'd like to support me, you can find my PayPal in the link tree in my bio. I really support you guys so much for the love. But let's go and get that next guest loaded into the stream. Y'all, everybody just do be patient while we're getting Krista loaded in. I'd love for Krista to load in, but it doesn't look like Krista wants to load in, so we'll go to move on to Braun. Truly trying to find anybody to have a conversation with us. Let's see if we can get Braun to load in here. What's going on, Braun? You support Trump?
Yes, sir, bro.
How old are you?
I'm only 14, but you don't even worry about that, but because I'm fucking 5.
You do have to be at least 18 to be in TikTok Live, so unfortunately, I do have to worry about that. I'm going to go and disconnect you. Let's go and get that next guest up in the box. Everyone, give us a moment to get that next guest up in here, y'all, for the 7.7 thousand people in that TikTok live stream. If you happen to support Trump, I would love to talk to you. I would really love to talk to you. So let me know if you're MAGA down below in that chat. I'll send you an invite, and we'll get you up here, and we'll have some great conversation. What's going on, Liam and Bobby? You guys MAGA?
I am, yeah.
Okay, Bobby is. What about you, Liam? Okay, Liam isn't even here, so it's just you, Bobby. Why don't you go and take it away? Tell us why you support the man, the myth, the failure, Trump.
I'm not gonna get into economics, but I just don't like immigrants.
You don't like immigrants, so that's called racism or xenophobia?
No, that's not what that is.
Okay.
You know it isn't.
So explain
That
to
you-
me how disdain towards all immigrants is not prejudice.
Not all of them. There's too many of them. This is America.
There's too many immigrants, okay? Under what
Alright.
standard are you saying that there's too many immigrants?
Everywhere I look.
Everywhere you look, you see what?
Packy or a nigger, and that's all I can see.
So that was just a racist, everybody. That was just a KKK member, straight up Nazi racist. I'm sorry that you guys had to hear that. If it was up to me, man, I don't think that you should have the legal ability to vote. I don't think that you should have the legal ability to do a whole lot of things. I think that you should just be thrown in jail, honestly. But let's go and move on to the next guest. Everyone just give us a minute, y'all. We're going to go to move on to the next guest. Everyone just give us a minute to get Apple user loaded into the live. That was completely outrageous. I can't even believe that. That was completely outrageous. That's MAGA. What's up, Apple user? Do you support Trump? Okay, Apple user's not here, so we're going to go to move on to the next guest. We got Ryan loading up in the box, y'all. Everybody just give us a minute. That was just completely disgusting. Completely disgusting. What's going on, Ryan? Do you support Trump? Okay, all right. Ryan's not here. Who's next? What about Chris Gonzalez? We're going to get Chris loaded into the stream. Here we go, everybody. What's up, Chris? You support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, how old are you?
33.
33. Could you get a little bit closer to your mic, man?
Yeah,
All right. Why do you support the worst president of your life, Donald J. Trump?
because he's amazing.
Okay, why is he amazing?
Well, he's getting rid of immigrants. Yeah, what else?
I'm not going to give you the opportunity to do what the last guest did. We're going to go to move on to Sean. Everyone just give us a moment. I'm just not going to give him the opportunity to do what the last guest did. Sean, what's up? Do you support Trump?
How you doing, Dean? I am a Dean Withers supporter.
Oh.
All these Trump supporters get.
Appreciate you for the love, man. You're awesome. I also do apologize for kicking you, but we are just looking to debate Trump supporters. But I do appreciate you for the love. Miss Brent, thank you for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat. Miss Brent says, so sick of all these Fox News watching IDF defending deep staters. Yeah, man, they're a little wild, dude. Fucking hell. What's going on, Mr. Consistent? Do you support Trump?
Yo, nah, but
Then don't join the queue. All right, we have 3 rules here. If you are in the guest request, they're very simple, easy to understand, easy to track and follow. The 3 rules are as follows. If you find yourself in that queue, make sure that means that you're an American adult that's at least 18 years of age. Also, make sure that means that you support Trump and that you're ready and willing to debate. What's up, Crisco? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I supported his ability to remove man for women sports. I'm a girl dad, and so my daughters both compete on a high level. and I would never want them to have to compete against a male because we are naturally stronger. As far as digging deep into what he is and what he does, I haven't done it. But when that came across my desk via email from a family member, I thought that was an excellent idea, being that my daughters do compete since they were young to, teenagers.
So,
And,
so like the 12 trans women that were in the NCAA, that's like an outweighing concern over everything else for you. So, I mean, I think there's two things I want to say here. I don't know how like the right has successfully convinced you to like place 12 trans women over the 66 million American women and girls that have lost their human rights / access to abortion, or the fact that more women have accused Donald Trump of raping them than there is trans women competing in the NCAA, or like, I don't know, maybe we would want 17 million Americans to have health insurance compared to not wanting 12 trans women to compete in the NCAA. I just think that there's much larger concerns here, significantly larger concerns.
yeah,
It's
I
crazy
agree.
this is
I
like the
agree.
number one thing on the chopping block. So, I mean, would you
Well,
say
it is
like
for me because
overall,
I'm
like
a
Donald
guy.
Trump preventing trans women from competing in women's sports outweighs the bad
see,
of
that's the
everything
thing.
else?
No, see, that's the thing. I think that you're looking at a broad spectrum because
Right.
you're intelligent in this market. I'm telling you, as a girl, that I have two daughters who play sports since they were about 7 years old, and now they're 17. I understand that there's trans men or women or however you want to label it that have been playing in sports. I don't want my daughters to have to face the opposite sex in what they do. I don't care that the trans are in there competing, do your thing, but I don't want my daughter to ever have to face a guy in any sports, especially when it's time to get, where she has
And
scouts
because
looking at
Donald
her.
Trump is preventing that, that is like the most important thing to you. Okay.
I just heard
So,
it.
so
I just heard
you're,
it.
so you're like huge.
Is it false or
So,
no?
so
I
you're
mean,
just you just really care about what you deem as women's rights, correct?
I just care about my daughters. That's it.
And you would really
You know
care
what I
about
mean?
like keeping like a man out of like your underage daughter's like dressing room, for instance?
I mean, I wouldn't know. I don't see a reason why he would be in there with my daughter.
Okay. So, I mean, like I said, do you think, like, imagine that there's a shitty man, right? Not a trans woman, a cis man that walked into the changing room of your daughter. She's 17. She's an underage girl. She's naked, undressed. What do you think should happen to that man?
If he walks in, walking in for what exactly? Did he walk in on accident?
To perv on them while they were naked, and he did so
He
intentionally.
gets the same treatment as anyone else.
What should happen to him?
If he tried something, he should be locked up.
You should be locked up. Now, what if that man like boasted about it, like said that your daughter's naked body was really good looking, and then said he could get away with those kind of things, and never got locked up, and then ran for president? Would you ever consider voting for that man?
What, as far as him just seeing or him actually touching my daughter? I mean, because it's natural.
Walked into. Wait, finish that sentence.
It's natural for men who are attracted to women to naturally be attracted to a female. Now, if he finds out that she's underage, then yes, that makes all the difference. But if he walks in and he doesn't know how old she is, but she looks grown, then that's natural. But if he walks in and he sees a little girl, like if my daughters were back in their...
Okay, I just want to clarify what we're talking about. We're talking about a man intentionally walking into a woman's only space where he knows there's no men around, where he knows men shouldn't enter into, for the specific reason of perving and looking at the naked bodies of the undressed women and underage teenagers.
That's
And you're
why I said
saying
he
that's
should-
natural?
No, I said he should. No. Don't let me speak and don't mix up my words.
What is
I said,
natural
I'm
about a
trying to
pervert
explain.
walking
I'm trying
into
to
a woman's only
explain.
space to exploit the women in that space?
I'm trying to explain. I said naturally, anybody that does that need to be jailed. Naturally. Now, if he's walking in, it's so he can see something that he is attracted to. That's normal. That's why he's there. So he's walking in for a reason. He's walking in to see something that he's attracted to. Should it
That's
be legal?
normal?
Absolutely not.
That's
It's
normal?
normal.
That's why he's there? Dude, what is I don't know what to say to you. I'm a little lost for words. I'm a little lost for words because I just want to make sure that the expression, the sentiment that you're responding with to the idea of a grown adult man, okay, walking into a woman's only space, a woman's only dressing room, because he knows that there's implicit consent in that space.
Why
where
didn't he
only
walk
women
into
are.
a man's only dressing room? Because he was attracted to the women. So he's attracted to that. That doesn't make it.
You understand basically an analogy of what you're saying is that a man raped a woman because he's sexually attracted to women, and that attraction is normal and natural.
He should be jailed.
So what is the ultimate intent or message that you're trying to convey to me and trying to convey to everybody at home watching when you respond to me describing an older adult male perving on naked teenage girls by saying that those attractions are normal and natural?
For him, those are normal. That's why he do it. He still should be jailed. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it legal.
And what is the intention of describing that those attractions are quote unquote normal? What is the motivation behind
this?
He
said that he's a perv, and that's what he does. So if he walks in a women-only place, then that means that's what he does, and that's what he's attracted to. So he should be jailed. It's like you're digging deeper for no reason. He's attracted to whether they're young or whether they're older women, and he's a pervert. He needs to be jailed. That's his norm. That's what he does. He needs to be jailed. What are you talking about?
Would you ever vote for an older gentleman that has done this and admitted to it if they were to run
I also feel like I said, whether it's man or woman, whoever does it needs to be jailed. It's not right.
So answer my question: if an older man did this, boasted about it, said he got away with it, never got jailed, then ran for president, would you ever vote or support that man?
Absolutely not.
Don't be a hypocrite.
He should be jailed. It doesn't matter who it is, bro.
Even if it was Trump.
Prove your point.
Even if it was Trump.
It doesn't matter. You don't understand what part of it doesn't matter.
I think you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And,
well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
like
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
So the non-hypocritical, rational response would be at this point to say that you're no longer a Trump supporter because immediately before I rolled that tape, you said that you would never support anybody that did this. You'd never vote for them to be the president, even if it was Trump. I'm putting my money on you just being a hypocrite and trying to find some way to
it's not hypocritical because you got to first
in order to still support Trump. So which one is it? Are you no longer MAGA? Are you no longer MAGA, or are you going to find a way to contort? Right.
It's like you have one angle that you're trying to prove here. I'm trying to explain to you what it is. It doesn't matter who's in office. No one is ever going to agree with everything from top to bottom that any president does. He needs to be jailed if that's what he did. According to the audio you played, he needs to be jailed. He's not any different than anybody else. So if he walked in because he's a perv and he did that, he needs to be jailed. It doesn't matter if there's a pink dinosaur running for president. If he is going to keep men from competing against my daughters in sports, I'm voting for the dinosaur. You guys sit up here and just hate one person for that reason. It doesn't matter who it is. Anyone that does that needs to be jailed. It does not matter. But there's no president that's ever ran for the seat and everyone liked everything that they brought to the table from top to bottom. It's impossible to like that. Everybody votes for their own liking, and some people never even read everything about what presidents do anyway. They grab a bit and they run with it, like myself. When I heard via email that he had a bill that kept men from competing out of women's sports, my light bulb went off like, whoa, that's pretty cool because I have daughters who compete in sports trying to get scholarships. It would suck that they would have a horrible game against a male the day the recruiters are coming to watch them play. And so for me, I thought that was a good idea. If he is...
Is there anything that Trump could do that would make you retract your support for him and regret your vote? Is there anything that Trump could do that would make you retract your support for him and make you regret your vote?
It's like I said again, it doesn't matter who the president is. If that's something that he did on that audio, he needs to be jailed.
Is the answer to my question, yes, there is something Trump could do that would make me retract my support from him and regret my vote, or is the answer no? There's nothing that he can do.
No, I wouldn't. Like I just told you, I'm a girl dad. I wouldn't retract men from competing against my daughter.
Is there anything that Trump could do, any red line that would make you regret your vote?
And that it doesn't seem you're digging for no reason. That to compete,
I want an answer to my question.
I'm trying to tell you.
Yes or no? Is there anything that Donald Trump could do that would make you regret your vote outside of not running on policy? That would
doing something to my daughter. If he personally did something to my daughter, absolutely.
Okay, so if he raped your daughter, you want to vote for him. What if he raped somebody else's daughter?
Then that person shouldn't vote for him.
But you would still vote for him?
I will vote for him. I will vote for the fact that he put something in place where man is not competing against my daughter.
What if he committed a genocide?
Done something to somebody else's child.
I have a question. What if he committed a genocide on the other side of the world? He bombed and killed 1 million people. Would you still support him?
They should retaliate.
But would you regret your vote if tomorrow he dropped a bomb and killed 1 million people in Asia?
If no men had to face against my daughter, absolutely not.
So
that's it. I don't care about y'all, you, or anybody else. I care about mine, my circle, and my household. If he does something to somebody else,
I have a question.
Need to go handle him.
I have a
question. I will handle him.
I have a question. If Donald Trump re-legalized slavery in America, and it didn't personally impact you or your family or anybody that you personally know, but enslaved 5 million African Americans in this country.
That's a fucked up situation, and somebody need to pull together so we can turn it around.
Would you have regretted your vote?
My vote is about my kids.
So he could literally re-implement slavery, and you still would have stood behind your vote for him.
If it impacts my children,
it didn't impact your children.
That's what I'm saying. If it doesn't impact any in my family, then no.
What if he systemically slaughtered every single black person in this country? Would you still?
He need to get dealt with.
But this didn't personally impact you or your family. Would you still support your vote?
My vote for men not to face my children.
Would you regret your vote for Trump if Donald Trump systemically slaughtered every black person?
Because I already told you it's not about Trump. I just told you that. It could be anybody. It could have been the dinosaur. It could have been the leprechaun. For that, so I don't vote for him for anything else. That's it. According to what you played, the audio you played, it sounds like he's a horrible dude. But if you get Trump out of office right now, the next person get in, no matter who it is.
So that guest was an actual psychopath. To the fullest extent of what that word means. That was completely, just absolutely deranged. Can we all agree that people like that shouldn't be able to vote? Is that something that we could agree on? Yeah. Because I don't think he should be able to vote. Not at all. Not at all. So we're going to move on now. We kicked him off. That guy was a psychopath. He shouldn't be able to vote. Let's go ahead and see what the next guest has, because we're trying to talk to people here that are not just completely detached from reality. Just completely detached from reality. That's probably like the craziest guest I've ever had on the stream. One of, if not the craziest. That was just completely insane. We're going to move on to the next guest. Everyone just give us a minute here, y'all. Let's go to get that next guest loaded in. We got Wilf Miller loading up into the box. Completely insane. Completely insane. What's going on? Do you support Trump? Wilf, do you support Trump? Are you MAGA? We're going to give you around 5 seconds here. Doesn't look like they're here, so we're going to move on to the next guest, guys. Go and drop a MAGA with your age down below in that chat. We'll get you pulled up. Guess like that last one is literally what is making me go bald. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, how old are you?
18.
What year are you born in?
2007.
Okay, sweet. Real quick, Will, thank you for the $10 over on PayPal. Will says vegetarian here. After that quote-unquote competent vegan coming up and being such an asshole, I've the biggest desire to go get a burger for the first time in 6 years. Will, thank you for the $10 over at PayPal, man. That's a golden message. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. As well as Miles, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love, Miles. Let's get 200 Miles W's. That is MYLES Miles says if Olympics opened a new event for mental gymnastics, MAGA would win gold every single time. Yeah, the one thing MAGA would win at, right? Thank you for the $20, Miles. That is incredibly kind. If there's anybody watching that would like to support me or what we're doing here on these live streams, if you're watching on TikTok, you can find my PayPal in the link in my bio. If you're watching on YouTube, you can find my PayPal in the pinned message. That's a really easy way to support me, y'all. I get 100% of the proceeds. They all go straight to me, as well as I get a notification with your name and a message that I could read off on live. Now, Logan, if you'd like to take it away and tell us why you support Trump, that'd be great, bro. Feel free.
I mean, I wouldn't call myself an avid Trump supporter. I thought that I liked him more because Kamala wasn't really elected, and I didn't think that was right. Yeah.
Okay, so are you saying that you support Trump because Kamala Harris didn't have a primary in the Democratic Party?
I mean, I just thought that it was more real than her because she didn't have a primary.
Okay, well, I mean, she primaried in 2020 as the VP on Biden's presidential ticket. I mean, it's pretty typical when the president steps down that the vice president steps up. Like for instance, when Nixon resigned, his vice president, I forget his name, stepped up, assumed the presidency, and then ran for re-election without a primary in the following presidential election. I mean, this is something that happens. But then even as it applied to Kamala Harris, she didn't just automatically have, the ticket for the DNC. She had to get over half of the votes from the Democratic delegates inside of the DNC. And it's ultimately the delegates who would choose who runs for their political party. And it's also really important to point out here that the DNC as well as the RNC, they're private political organizations. They're not a fixture of our democracy, our voting processes, or our government. You could start your own private political organization tomorrow. Anybody can, as well as come November 5th. You have the right to vote for either the ticket from the left, the right, or any write-in, as well as third-party candidate. So I just don't think that that's a good enough reason. Now, if you want an example of a legitimate threat to this democracy that actually challenges the civil and electoral processes that are a fixture of our government and our republic, look no further than 2020 when Donald Trump installed fake votes for himself in Congress, saying that he won states that in all reality he lost to attempt to rig and steal the vote from Biden.
I agree. I thought his reaction to the 2020 thing was out of pocket.
Right, that's the actual threat to the democracy. Kamala Harris was no threat. Donald Trump is.
Okay.
So why would you support the actual threat to this democracy and the actual threat to our civil and electoral processes? He didn't have an answer to that question, so he literally just left. Let's go ahead and see what that next guest has to say. Everyone, just be patient while we're working on getting the next guest up here, y'all. We got Sunday League loading in, y'all. We got Sunday League loading in. Also, Aubrey, thank you for the $14 over on Venmo. Thank you so much, Aubrey. Aubrey says, I'm a young woman from Montana surrounded by MAGA, and you make me so much more comfortable to hate Trump. I watch your lives every day, and I'm so happy I become more informed on the daily. Have a good day, Dean. I hope you have a good day as well, Aubrey. For the 8.2 thousand people in here, while we're working on getting the next Trump supporter up here for a conversation, show some love to Aubrey down below in that chat. Show some love to Aubrey. That's incredibly kind of you. As well as Hannah, thank you for the $15 over on Venmo, saying, raising a glass to the empathetic and non-delusional. Thank you for what you do. You're my favorite hobby. Thank you for hanging out in here with us today, Hannah. All the love to you. Thank you so much, Hannah and Aubrey. What is going on, Chris? Are you MAGA? Are you a Trump supporter? Okay, it looks like Chris is on mute. We'll go ahead and give Chris a second to try to unmute. Now, if he's unsuccessful in that, we'll just go ahead and kick him. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to unmute, though.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Chris, what's up? You support Trump, bro?
I do.
Are you driving a car, bro?
No.
Are you just in the passenger seat?
Yeah, I was, but I mean, I'm actually parked. I'm good. I'm parked now.
Okay.
I was initially, but I was parking. I'm officially parked now.
No worries. So why do you support Trump, dude? The worst president of your life.
Yeah, I'm a little older than you, so definitely not the worst of my life, but
I would say the worst of your life.
No, Jimmy Carter was around, so unfortunately. But to answer your question, I mean, and I know where you're going to go. But his policies, just peace through strength statements that he made. And just some of his stances that he's taken with the Middle East, I just agree with him overall on some of those things. I don't agree with him on everything. I'm definitely not MAGA per se, where I've just turned a blind eye to anything and everything. But But yeah.
Buddy, you support peace through strength. We do not have peace, not domestically, that's for sure, and also not internationally, that's also for sure. There's not a single global conflict that was ongoing the day Donald Trump was elected that is doing any better now. Okay, he's not giving us peace.
Is Israel and Gaza not any better today?
No, I wouldn't argue that it's any better in the slightest. In fact,
well, I'm sure you wouldn't argue it, but it's true.
Okay, why is it true?
So they're not talking. They're not at least coming to the table talking about peace deals and talking
like a
about ceasefires.
There was a ceasefire implemented the day Donald Trump was inaugurated before Israel violated it. Oh, you didn't know that?
Yeah. They people violate them all the time, but that's not that. What I'm saying is, they are closer to a true ceasefire today than they have ever been.
How do you know that? Because as far as I'm concerned, Donald Trump announced his plan to ethnically cleanse the totality of the Gaza Strip. I don't think that that's going to get us closer to peace.
I don't. Yeah, I disagree with the characterization that an ethnic cleanse of the Gaza Strip. But okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, the textbook definition of ethnic cleansing that we see from Oxford Language is the forceful expulsion or killing of an unwanted ethnic group on any given land. That is exactly what Donald Trump wants to do to the 2.1 million Palestinians living on the Gaza Strip. He wants to forcefully expel them to Jordan and Egypt so that he could level the land and build a Riviera to then gift to Israel, and thereby also giving the Palestinians no right to return. That is a true, a correct, and adequate classification of ethnic cleansing with the academic definition.
Are they on stolen land the same way the Americans are on stolen land today?
I don't understand your question or how this would respond to my categorization of Donald Trump's plan to forcefully relocate the Palestinians as ethnic cleansing.
It doesn't respond to it. It was a rhetorical statement.
Okay, well then respond to what I said. I gave you the definition of ethnic cleansing, and I told you how Donald Trump's plan for the Gaza Strip fulfills said definition of ethnic cleansing.
There's no plan like that for the Gaza Strip. He made a one-off statement like he does in a lot of things, like the idiot that he is. Like I said, I don't agree with everything he says or does, and that's one of many.
This wasn't a one-off statement he just posted on Truth Social. This was an announced plan that he had released at a joint press conference in person with Netanyahu.
So where's the plan? Where's the steps to get there?
The steps to get there. Well, I mean, I think that they've already launched an operation on the Gaza Strip with the use of the IDF and guns, weapons, and bombs from America to kill all of the Palestinians that they could find and claim that land as their own. And I mean, basically, if you're just telling us that this is a plan from Trump that won't actually ever be implemented, well, I mean, obviously, we could say that this is at the bare minimum something that Donald Trump desires. So, I mean, Donald Trump desires the ethnic cleansing of the Gaza Strip.
I don't think he desires it. I think it's
so.
Just
why would he say that? Why would he say that if he didn't desire it? If I say I want chocolate ice cream, do I desire chocolate ice cream?
Well,
if I say I want chocolate ice cream, do I desire chocolate ice cream?
You could be saying you want it just to keep somebody else from having it, not really want it. There's many motives behind saying things.
So if it's not something he actually wanted, then it was fear mongering. It was fear mongering with the strategy of ethnic cleansing,
or appealing to a certain part of his voter base that are ignoramuses, like every politician does.
Okay, so if you just think it's fine and dandy because apparently he's appealing to a certain part of his voter base, well, like a certain part of the voter base for...
No, I didn't say it was fine and dandy.
Listen to what I'm saying here. Another like demographic of voters on the right are going to be like American First Groypers, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, etc. Would you say that if Donald Trump announced tomorrow that he wants to re-implement slavery and make America a Christian theocracy that serves to white people and stops immigration, that you would be fine with that, and that would resolve in your brain very similar to Donald Trump's announced plan to ethnically cleanse the Gaza Strip?
No, I mean, I don't support that. That's what I said. I've said it from the beginning. There's many things I don't support that he said and done.
Okay, so would you
That's
be
one
able to
of
give me
many.
the difference between his announced plan to ethnically cleanse the Gaza Strip to appeal to a certain part of his voter base and announced plan to make America a white nationalist Christian theocracy to appeal to a certain part of his voter base?
No, there's no difference in that. They're both doing the same thing.
So there's no difference in that thing. So if Donald Trump did say that he wants to make America a white nationalist Christian theocracy to appeal to a certain part of his voter base, would you still support him?
I don't think I don't recall him ever saying that.
I'm saying if he did say that,
mean,
would you still support him?
No, of course not.
And if there's no difference between that statement and a statement that he wants to ethnically cleanse the Gaza Strip, as you just agreed to, then you wouldn't support him given his statements related to the Gaza Strip either.
The only reason I would one, I think he would. I guess if he made a statement about the white nationalists, I think it would speak to something he probably really wants to do versus something he's just speak. I mean, I guess it would depend. It would depend on the context of the statement.
Oh, well, now you've absolutely just lost it because you just said that there wasn't a difference between those two statements, but now you're saying when he called for the ethnic cleansing of people on the Gaza Strip, he didn't actually mean it. But if he called for a white nationalist Christian theology, he would mean it. It kind of just sounds like you're just giving us a bunch of nothing and you're engaging in mental gymnastics because you've been outwitted by somebody a quarter of your age. I also like the picture you have pulled up there on your camera. Good to know you're a fan. I'm actually going to release merch here soon. If you would like me to send you a pre-drop signed with my signature, I could do so for $40.
I absolutely would.
I don't doubt it, man. Got me on your camera. I'm glad I'm staying in your mind.
No, it was just one I saw, and I had to screenshot it. And I was like, if I ever get on his live, I'm going to put it up there just to be funny.
I love it because it just shows a lack of intelligence and media literacy of people on the right because you think I was being serious. I have been laughing my ass off at everybody on the right in the fact that you guys literally think that I was serious about the anxiety pen. I love it so much. It really makes me happy.
I know 1,000% it was a troll. I mean, I'm not. I mean, it's a no. What's the word I'm looking for?
No brainer.
I guess. Well, it's not. Yeah, kind of a no-brainer, but I mean that's not the word I was looking for. But that fits.
Well, and in doing so, you're basically telling us that a lot of people on the right don't have a brain because a lot of people didn't think it was a troll. Now, I did just respond.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on the left that didn't think it was a troll too. But yeah, just
no. You didn't see creators on the left making videos saying, "Look at Dean! Oh my God, he's completely losing his cool.
Well, that's because
he's completely lost it. He's just so outrageous, and this guy's insane and so crazy, and he's just absolutely lost it. He's such a little soy boy.
Because you got a good following.
Okay, well then you're just holding to a non-falsifiable hypothesis of believing that there's just as many people on the left that didn't think it was a troll as there was people on the right.
I didn't say it was just as many. I just said there was people, but.
Oh, well, my point was that there's significantly more people on the right that don't have a brain. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, well, I mean, that's your opinion. Can we talk about the bill?
Oh, so now we want to move on from the fact that you basically just conceded that Donald Trump did want to ethnically cleanse the Gaza Strip, and that should hypothetically be a red line that you hold
I can see that he said it, yes. I can see that he said it. I mean...
Okay, and you're trying to convince me that he said this, but even though that he said this, he doesn't actually want to do it.
I mean, people say stuff all the time they don't mean.
Yes, you're just a member of a cult.
At least I hope
this is what we describe.
I hope that's true.
This is what we describe as mental gymnastics. Like you're literally telling us that Donald Trump can say anything, whatever it is. If it's really bad, you'll just say that he didn't mean it. You suck, bro. Like you're actually terrible. You're actually so fucking terrible. Even though he made this press conference with Netanyahu at his side. Even though following this press conference, he increased the amount of money, expenditure, bombs, and weapons that we are giving to Israel. Even though all these facts, it doesn't matter. Because it's so crazy that you know that you shouldn't support it, so you just say that he didn't mean it. I think that you have a very severe TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. I know that's something that individuals on the left are typically diagnosed with. I think the diagnosis truly goes to the people on the right that are willing to contort reality and base reality off of their beliefs instead of basing their beliefs off of reality. You just shift the world around you into whatever you want it to be to justify your preconceived notions that end in the conclusion that you should support President Trump. And this is such an issue because the Achilles heel of any functioning democracy is essentially going to be a misinformed electorate base. And you were basically saying, sign me up to be misinformed because you're going to build reality off of whatever Trump does. And if there's anything Donald Trump does or says that you think is wrong, you just say he didn't mean it. It's gross, it's deplorable, it's disgusting. It's ultimately what is going to destroy this country.
Okay, so anything that you disagree with Kamala, I mean, what are you going to stand against her saying there was no soldiers in a combat zone? I mean, did she mean that, or did she misspeak, or what was that?
So what is the question that you're asking me? And how does it relate to the critique I just granted of you, where you just basically denied that Donald Trump wanted something that he said he wanted?
What I'm saying is politicians say stuff all the time, and the people that support them find a way to mentally gymnastic themselves into either obliging to it or overlooking it, the same way people do on both sides.
So basically what you're saying is you do concede that you are engaging in very hypocritical mental gymnastics, but you're not going to stop doing it because you also think there's people on the left that do that. Are you being serious? Like, let's just assume what you're saying is true, okay? Wouldn't this, like, compel you to want to be smarter than everybody else and not do that yourself? Like, this is essentially like a slave owner in
that's why I'm saying
in 1825
don't support everything blindly.
This is like a slave owner in 1825 saying, well, I concede that it's incredibly immoral to own people as property, but because there's so many other people around me that also own people's property, I'm going to continue to own people's property. You conceded that you were engaging in mental gymnastics, contorting the narrative of the right, and then you just followed that up by saying, well, there's many other people that do the same thing, so therefore I'm going to continue to do it myself. I mean, I think the moment you concede that you're irrationally and illogically engaging in mental gymnastics to be a party/candidate loyalist, that's the moment where you should retrospect, acknowledge it's something that you shouldn't do because you want to be logical, you want to be rational, and stop doing it. Instead, you've just made those acknowledgments that it's irrational and illogical, and you're continuing to do it because why?
I'm not saying that I support everything you said from the beginning. I said that when we first started this conversation.
This is a red herring. The mental gymnastics that I pointed out that you agreed to is a fact that this is something he said. This is something he said he wanted to do. Yeah, you deny that he desires to do it. And then I was able to describe how that's mental gymnastics. And then you accepted that it was mental gymnastics. Then said the reason you're going to continue to engage in these mental gymnastics is because other people also engage in these mental gymnastics.
Even if I concede that he wants to do it, doesn't mean it's ever going to happen.
Are you okay with ideologically supporting a president that wants to reimpose slavery, even if it never happens?
No, of course not.
Are you okay with ideologically supporting a president that wants to reimpose child marriage, even if it never happens?
Well, child marriage is still a thing, but...
Okay. Assuming that child marriage wasn't a thing, I can't even... It's crazy I have to say that. Assuming child marriage wasn't a thing, if there was a president that wanted to reimpose child marriage, would you ever support them, even if that never happened?
I wouldn't support that. I would not support child marriage, no.
Okay. So you wouldn't support a president that wanted to reimpose slavery, even if it never happened. You wouldn't support a president that wanted to reimpose child marriage, even if it never happened.
I wouldn't support
a president
ideas.
that wanted to impose ethnic cleansing, even if it never happened?
I wouldn't support those ideas, no.
Okay, so then you're not a Trump supporter.
I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't support those ideas, but that's
not the question that I was asking. Why did you change the question that I asked? The question I asked you is, would you ever support the president as a whole if the president wanted to reimpose the enslavement of black Americans, even if they were never able to be successful in that end goal?
And I said no. And
okay.
I mean, I wouldn't.
So
I don't really support anybody as a whole.
So you never support a president as a whole, right? At the end of the day, you never support a president that wanted to reimpose slavery, even if it never happened. But you would support a president that wanted to ethnically cleanse 2.1 million people if it never happened. Why?
I don't support it.
So then you're
I don't support the idea.
That's not the question that I'm asking you. How many times do I need to re-describe that that's not the fucking question I'm asking you? I'm not asking you if you support the idea. You've made it clear that you don't support the idea. What I'm debating you on is because you don't support that idea and the idea is sufficiently bad enough, that should be a red line that would retract your support from the president or the candidate as a whole. I've now re-described this to you 3 times, and the only reason you keep ignoring my explanation and you keep on repeating the same false equivocation is because you're too scared to engage engage in the substance/content of this debate because it'll make you look terrible. You agreed and conceded that if a candidate/president said that they ideologically want to reimpose the enslavement of black Americans, even if they were never successful, this would be sufficiently wrong enough to make you not support that president/presidential candidate as a whole. The question that I'm asking you in turn is, will you maintain consistency and thereby say that if there was a presidential candidate or president that wanted to impose the idea of ethnic cleansing of 2.1 million people, even if they were never successful, is that motive, is that desire sufficiently wrong enough to make you never support that president/presidential candidate as a whole?
No.
Okay, so why is ethnic cleansing not sufficiently wrong enough, but slavery is?
I mean, the only thing I can answer, you're going to say I'm inconsistent because it's a gotcha moment. I mean, you don't, there's no answer to your question, to be honest.
So you're just saying it's a gotcha moment because I did get you, okay? But I got you not because I'm some performative 3-second clickbait, get the clip and run TikToker.
That's exactly why.
I got you because your position is completely outrageous. I got you because you don't build your beliefs predicated on fact, reason, and logic. You can't blame me for being able to corner you in this logical fucking pit hole in less than 5 minutes and then act like it's my fault. No, it's the fault of the lack of consistency and well-rounded foundation of the motivations that you possess that has driven you to the conclusion of this idea that you should support Trump. And if you are so far gone, you're so far in the cult that even when I am able to get you and you're able to agree that I got you, it's my fault. Dude, take a step back and reevaluate yourself. Like, let me ask you a question. How easy do you think you would be able to get a white supremacist? If somebody walked up to you and they said that I don't like black people and I don't think they have intrinsic value, and then they agreed that all people have intrinsic value, you'd be able to get them in a logical contradiction in like 30 seconds by saying, oh, you think that all people have intrinsic value, yet you don't think that black people have intrinsic value, even though black people are people. That's a logical contradiction. They'd be gagged. They'd have nothing to say. Well, what if then that white supremacist turned around and they were like, oh, you're performative clickbaiter because you were able to refute my reasoning and show contradiction in my logic in less than 30 seconds, you'd call them crazy. And that's what I'm going to call you right now.
Okay. You do this every day, all day, brother. I'm not going to be as well articulatable at it as you are to be able to say it without contradicting myself, because I don't do it all day, every day to formulate it out. Would you say you agree with everything Kamala Harris and did you vote for I don't think you were old enough yet, but would you have voted for Bernie?
But yeah, of course. I would have voted for Bernie, would have voted for Biden, and did vote for Kamala Harris.
Right. So do you agree with every single thing that they've done and said?
No.
Of course. So how do you wrap your head around that then? The same way.
For sure. Because on the couple points that I disagree with, Donald Trump was lesser.
They're not majors, I guess.
The more of two evils in that respect. Right? But obviously Kamala Harris wasn't the worst of two evils in the respect of wanting to ethnically cleanse millions of people. That was actually one of the respects where I did disagree with her, because she was still pro-Israel, that she was the lesser of two evils on.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't have an answer for Gaza, Palestine. I don't know enough of the history. I don't know enough of why do we support one or the other. I don't know why we pick sides. I mean, to be honest, in that situation there, I really don't know.
All right, man. Well, honestly, at least at the end of the day, I appreciate you for recognizing that you don't know what to say there. That's a step in the right direction, regardless of what I would say your views are. I think that the next step for you would be to sit back, introspect upon your beliefs, and learn more and do your research. That is going to be really important in order for the American people to coalesce around reason, fact, logic, and critical thought. And I want you to critically think. And I appreciate you for the admission that you just don't know, dude. I mean, that's something that a lot of people can't say. And for that one very specific thing, I can respect. And I just hope that your next step is to seek knowledge and seek truth. That's the ultimate reason why I do these live streams. But let's go to move on to the next guest. Everyone, give us a minute. If you want to support me, you can find my PayPal in the link tree in my bio. Speaking of, Paige, thank you for the $10 over on PayPal. Saying that my jaw dropped listening to that guy talk about his daughters. Yeah, that guy was nuts. We kicked him out really quickly. Thank you for the $10 page. Let's get 100 page W's down below. Thank you so much. As well as 15 minutes ago, Jeremy, thank you for the $10 over on PayPal saying you're amazing. Keep it up, bro. You're doing good work. Thank you, Jeremy. Show some love to Jeremy down below. As well as Mel, thank you for the $15 over on PayPal saying I just wanted to say thank you for educating us all. Thank you for the love, Mel. Show some love to Mel down below. As well as Rachel with the $13. Thank you so much for the love. Saying hi, Dean. Rachel from the UK, first time ever sending money to a streamer. I watch your lives regularly and felt you needed a tip. Rachel, that is incredibly, incredibly kind of you. I'm very proud. I'm very happy. That's cool that I'm the first streamer that you've ever donated to. That's incredibly kind of you. And thank you for your love, Rachel. And as well as Muhammad, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal 11 minutes ago. Just saying gift. Thank you for the love, Muhammad. Guys, show some love to Muhammad down below in that comment section for the $20 donation. That is incredibly, incredibly, incredibly kind. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. If you're in that queue, make sure that means you support Trump. Yo, we got Maddie loading in. Show some love to Muhammad down below. Show some love to Rachel down below. Show some love to Mel down below. Show some love to all the donors down below because you guys are so freaking awesome. What's up, Joey and Maddie? You guys support Trump? Joey or Maddie, any of you guys here? Nah, they aren't here. Unfortunate. You know, I'd love to talk to a woman Trump supporter. We've just been talking to men all day. Yeah, low-key, if you're like an American adult that supports Trump and you're a woman, let me know down below. If you want to debate, I'll pull you up. You'll like skip the line. I'll let the women skip the line right now. What's going on? Do you support Trump, Big Lou?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
Great. I'm going to let you tell us why you support Trump, but before you do, I got to thank Clear Fight for the $20 over at PayPal. They say, much love, Dean. Thank you for being an amazing activist, ally, and a bright light during this very dark timeline we're all living in from Colton. Colton, thank you so much for the $20 and the incredibly kind message, man. I want to see 200 Colton W's down below in those comment sections. Thank you so much, Colton. And I'm like, oh my Jesus Christ. Sebastian! Holy fuck. Sebastian, thank you so much for the $150 donation over on PayPal. Jesus, Sebastian, thank you. Thank you so much for the love. That is insane. That is so incredibly kind. I do not deserve that love. If you guys could please show some love to Sebastian down below in that comment section for the $150 donation over on PayPal. I would really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, dude. That is insane. Sebastian says, wait, really? You're going to read this? I think what you're doing with your debates is necessary in order to create clarity, in order to understand what's going on. Since I'm a European, I unfortunately cannot vote for Trump. Not that I would. A conversation with you would definitely be epic. I just learned so much from you. Thanks for that. Best regards. Best wishes. P.S. Good luck for everybody on the other side of that big C. Well, I appreciate you for being here, and I'm happy that you could kind of take some value away from my stream, Sebastian. I'm incredibly grateful for you for the incredibly generous $150 donation. It really does, it goes a long way, man, and I really do appreciate you for your love. So if while we're hopping into this next debate, you guys could very seriously show some love to Sebastian down below, that would be awesome. Thank you guys so much. But anyways, Ash, welcome in. You said in the chat that you're a proud woman Trump supporter and you stand by it, correct?
Okay, so I'm not actually a woman, but I want to say
I thought that they were gonna say that they're not actually a Trump supporter, but they sounded young nonetheless. We're gonna move on to the next guest. Here we go, everybody. Go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in that comment section if you want to come up. Oh, and they said I'm not actually a woman. What they meant was they're not an adult. Guys, we're only looking to talk to adults. Is there any American adult women that support Trump that'd like to come up? I'd love to chat. Seriously. I'd very seriously love to chat. I think that we're going to try, put some intention into finding a woman Trump supporter. Okay, we got Power. They're saying that they're a woman Trump supporter. Let's go and pull them up. Here we go. What's up? You support Trump?
Tranny.
Okay, I just wanted to come up here and use transphobic, derogative terms. Okay, moving on to the next guest. Here we go, everybody. Another child, by the way. Hello, Kendall. Do you support Trump?
Yep.
Okay, Kendall. Wow, you are the first woman Trump supporter I've talked to all day. How does it make you feel?
I don't know.
You know, how do you feel about the fact that most Trump supporters that are really riled up and active today are men?
I mean, it is what it is. It's embarrassing, kind of.
Do you think that does it kind of open a thought in your mind that maybe Donald Trump definitely serves to the worst interests of all, but more specifically women more than men, and maybe how like Donald Trump has been incredibly like bad to women in his past, and it might serve as some sentiment to not want him as president, especially from the perspective of a woman?
That's actually why I voted for him.
You voted for him because he's bad for women?
No, because he's a man.
So you think you think men are better at leading than women?
I just don't feel like a woman can do it.
Okay, all right. Well, let's have a chat about that. I think that the best way for me to like explain to you why you're wrong and expose this for just being very like baseless, like nonsense, is to be really logical with you. Okay, so we are going to logically think our way through this bigotry. I want you to tell us, right, with a cohesive argument, why you think men are better at leading than women. Take it away. Good try. She left on her own accord. I didn't kick her or anything. She just said, goodbye. I'll see you later. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
No.
Okay, dude, you're good. Let's see here. Aaron, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal, Aaron. That is so incredibly kind of you. Aaron says, this is for you kicking that man who said he voted for Trump to protect his daughters in sports. He didn't care about their rights. Been stripped away, though. Yeah, that guy was insane. I appreciate you for the $10, Aaron. As well as Natasha, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal as well. Natasha, sorry, not Natasha. That was the name of somebody else. That's not Natasha. That's going to be Thomas. Thank you for the $20. I don't know why I called you Natasha. I think Natasha is the name I saw in the chat. Thomas, thank you for the $20. I do really appreciate you for the love. Thomas says, can you chat a bit about the tuition caps and the big beautiful bill for grad students? This includes veterinarians, nurses, doctors. Pretty spooky. Yeah, so what the BBB does is it completely eliminates, all federal student aid for grad students that previously existed under their grad program, and then they're replacing that with this new system that gives like some minuscule forms of federal student aid. I don't know too much about it. I'll have to learn more and I could get back to you. As well as Jamili, thank you so much for the $22 over on PayPal as well, saying that you're cool. That is JAMILEH. Thank you so much for the $22. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much for the love. Seriously, guys, thank you so much for your kindness. So now for everybody in the stream on TikTok, unfortunately, this time we have to restart the stream. I know that's something that I hate doing. It's not something I want to do. It's something that TikTok is forcing me to do. So what will happen is we could get like flags on the live and on my account from guests that come up here. And we've been live for around 3 hours now, and we've gotten enough of those flags that are calling for a stream restart. If I don't restart the stream, like there's a risk that I'll just lose access to like the ability to like add up guests. It's a pretty shitty TOS update from TikTok. But this is our way to manage it. And honestly, it's a smart thing to do, because if we don't do these restarts when the flags amount to a point, it's really bad for us. Like eventually, like I'll just lose my ability to be able to do these debates on any of my accounts. And that's actually where Parker is right now. So if any of you guys know Parker, right now he doesn't have live guest access on any of his accounts because he's been getting banned. Now the way that we're going to prevent that is just with restarts every so often. So we kind of like restart the threshold for getting the account permed. So it'll be really easy. That's a really easy thing to restart. I would really appreciate it if as many of you as possible could come back to the stream. That'd be cool, just so we could get the debates right back underway. The way to find the stream, it's super duper simple. All that you got to do is hit that follow button first and foremost. You get the notification. But then also you could just go to my account page, wait a minute, refresh, and I'll be back. However, I'm not going to immediately restart. I'll probably be around a minute behind schedule because when the stream is like intermediately ended, I'm just going to use the restroom real quick. So I'll be back on live in maybe a minute or two. So I'd say the best way to make sure you find your way back here is to drop a follow. But I'll be back in about a minute or two. See you guys super duper soon. Same account. And then also for everyone over on YouTube, we don't need to restart this stream. You guys are in luck. The YouTube stream just is forever and always okay. I'm going to go use the restroom. I'll BRB. I am back, everybody. Hello, 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 hello. Don't worry, the hands are washed as always. Y'all already know it. Wash the hands. You know, that's a little crazy of you guys to basically assume that I did it. Okay, I'm sorry. No, the conservatives, so clip it out of context, and all of a sudden, Dean Crash Out 2.0 hates his fans because can't let the conservatives get away with it. Can't let the conservatives get away with it. Can't get. Okay, all right, we're back on live. Hello and welcome back into the stream for everybody tuning back in on TikTok. Thank you so much for being here. We have officially restarted. Christian, good to see you in here. Thank you so much for the love earlier, man. We love and appreciate you here, bro. We are going to go ahead and hop right back into the debates. We got the restart done. That was a very necessary thing to do, unfortunately. Let's just go ahead and hop right back into the debates. We're not going to skip a beat. We're not going to waste a moment. If you are tuning back in on TikTok, if you do double tap and share at that live, it will definitely help us get out in that For You page a little bit faster. But go ahead and hop back in that queue if you support Trump. Here we go. Let's go and get that first guest up in the box. We got Jocko loading in right now. Phenomenal. Let's go and get them up here. While we are loading Jocko up, I'd like to quickly thank Owen for the $10 over on PayPal. Let's get 100 Owen W's. They say, I've watched you live every day. That's awesome. I do really appreciate you. And if you're looking for how the BBB will impact your taxes, please go look at the estimates for how the BBB will reduce and increase after-tax income from the University of Pennsylvania. What's going on, Jocko? Do you support Trump?
Yes, and first of all, I have to apologize for my English because it's not my first language.
Okay. You kind of sound British.
No, I'm from Finland.
Finland? You're from... Oh, okay. Are you like... What time is it?
It's 1 in the morning.
Ah, you were in Finland. Well, I gotta say, man, your English is really, really good. You know, I don't get it when like people that speak other languages than English will like apologize for like how good their English is or like whatever. Because like, see, from my perspective, there is not another language I can speak, and I think that's really impressive. And if anything, I should be apologizing to you for not speaking Finnish, right? But let's gonna move on to the next guest. Everyone, just give us a minute. What is going on? Do you support Trump? Alpha?
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
Okay, what year are you born in?
April the 15th, 2007.
And good lordy lord, why the hell do you support Trump, dude? Come on.
I mean, because like, if you think about it, right? So he's always like states facts, and like he always. And you.
Now be a troll, everybody. We're gonna kick him and move on to the next guest. We got Amina loading up in the box. Here we go, everybody. Make sure that we're double tapping away that phone screen. Let's get up to 200K double taps. Also, make sure that we're sharing out this live with a handful of friends. Amina, what's going on? Do you support Trump? Do you support Trump? Okay, all right. I was debating the dogs, everybody. We're gonna move on. Here we go, guys. Go to drop a MAGA with your age down below in that chat. We'll get you loaded in, everybody. Woo! Who's the next Trump supporter? Phenomenal. It looks like we got Ezra down below in that box. Let's gonna get Ezra loaded in. Oh my God, yo, Christian! With the $150 donation over on PayPal. Dude, what the fuck? Dude, that is insane. Thank you so much for the love, bro. While we're hopping into this next debate, hopefully with Ezra, show some love to Christian down below in that chat for the $150 donation. That is seriously so incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much, Christian. You are awesome. And welcome in, Ezra. Are you MAGA? Do you support Trump?
I am MAGA, yeah. I am English, but I moved.
Get the hell out of here. You're a child, a kid, a fetus, quite frankly. Okay, all right, guys. This is not a daycare. Not a daycare. What are we doing? Where are the adults at, dude? Where are they at? I want the adults. Where are the adults? Come on. What's up? How old are you?
I'm an adult.
Great.
I'm 26.
Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Connor. All right, buddy. Do you want to go and like disconnect the Bluetooth headset or whatever you have connected? It's making your mic pretty shit.
All right, is this better?
About 1 billion times better. Connor, I have a question I'm begging to ask you, okay?
Yeah. Well, first, wait, did you wash your hands?
I did wash my hands.
All right, good. Nice.
So, do you consider yourself to be a true American patriot?
I would say so.
Do American patriots support the Constitution?
Yeah. Overall, yeah.
Your bio is calling for a violation of the Constitution.
So, just because I say MAGA 2028 doesn't mean it has to be Donald J. Trump running in 2028. It could be his son, it could be his daughter, it could be anyone, with MAGA.
Okay. You know what? You're right. I thought it said Trump 2028.
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, how do you feel about the fact that Donald Trump said that he kind of wants to run in 2028?
Well, I think that's pretty fucking stupid. But,
right. Right. Or like the executive order where he attempted to repeal birthright citizenship for the children of undocumented immigrants. That was an explicit constitutional violation.
I agree with that, though.
Okay, so then you agree with violating the Constitution, so then by your own admission, you're no patriot.
Yeah, but I feel like you can't just, cross the border illegally and then just have a child, and then that child can automatically be a citizen and get the benefits of our country.
Actually, yes, they can, according to the Constitution.
I know that according to the Constitution they can. That's the 14th Amendment, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that's just not. I just don't believe that. I think the Constitution was made to be amended, and I think that could be changed.
Okay. Yeah, but the way to change that and amend the Constitution is through the correct legal processes, not through an illegal EO. How pissed would you be if Biden passed an EO restricting any and all Americans' right to own/buy a gun?
I don't own any guns, so I don't really care.
So you don't care about just completely eradicating or effectively eradicating the Second Amendment? You have to be trolling.
I would care, but I don't own any guns, so it wouldn't personally affect me.
What did it? Okay, see, that's the thing. I feel like Trump supporters only care about things that personally impact them, nothing that impacts anybody else. Just stop calling yourself a patriot.
All right.
So why do you support Trump?
Because he doesn't support killing babies.
Okay. He does. He's paid for 3 abortions. I'm guessing that's what you're talking about.
Okay, well, yeah. But he overturned Roe v. Wade, which I know it did eventually lead to an overall increase in abortions, but on the long term, it will definitely, I believe, go down.
Oh, we chatted the other day, right?
No.
I think we did. Okay, what's your pro-life position?
I'm sorry. My bad.
Oh, we did chat the other day. He's back. All right, moving on to the next guest. Here we go, everybody. We're going to get that next guest loaded up. We got Blaze Carlson loading in. If you're watching, you're like, hey, I like this Dean guy. I want to support him. I like what he does. You can find my PayPal in the link tree in my bio on TikTok or in the pin message on YouTube. Appreciate you guys for the love. All right, let's go to get that next guest up in here, y'all. Go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in that chat with your age if you'd like to come up and have a conversation. Who is next? Who will it be? We got Echo loading in. Here we go. Phenomenal. Hey, what's up, Echo? You support Trump?
Yes.
Age, please?
18.
Yeah, what's going on with all these kids, dude? What's going on with all these children, dude? Yo, Jess, hop in that queue. Love to bring you up. Holy cow, everybody. Some point it just gets a little insane. Yo, Jess Love, I'd love for you to hop in that queue. Let's go ahead and see who's next. Let's go ahead and try to get Gavin up in the box. I don't know. Gavin is like a 14-year-old name. I feel like this is a 14-year-old. Speak real quick, bud.
Yeah, you guessed it right.
Moving on to the next guest. Everyone, just give us a minute. We're gonna go to get CJ up in the box. Phenomenal. What's up, CJ? You support Trump?
Yes.
Age, please.
19.
Where were you born in?
2000 and psych.
Okay. Why is this a fetus raid? Yo, who sent the fetus raid? Did Jake Paul in this stream and send us a raid? Did Ninja in this stream and everybody go to DNC Dean on TikTok? Would we get a shout out at the end of a Coco Melon video? Can somebody go check that? Can we get confirmation on that? I don't know what's going on, guys. No kids, please. I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna catch you guys. So don't do it. Okay. All right. So you support Trump?
Hello.
Hi. Do you support Trump?
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. How old are you?
I have a quick question though for you. Is that okay?
How old are you?
It was about an earlier debate you did.
How old are you?
I'm 15. I just really have a question, please.
Dude. Guys. Dude. What are we doing? This is preposterous. Chat. The rules are simple. You just can't be a kid. That's it. What's up? Are you a child?
Come on, Daddy.
That is a child. It was a child. It was a child. What is going on? Call back in like 12 years, dude. Sup?
Stop vaping, bro.
It's
You
a
need to stop
kid.
vaping.
It's a kid. It's a child. What? Oh my God. This is an actual fetus raid. We're actually experiencing a fetus raid, a zygote raid, a child raid. For all the adults in here, go ahead and ask yourself why the MAGA children have more of a spine than you. I don't know. What's up, Laurel? How old are you?
Oh, I'm 28.
Do you support Trump?
Oh, just kidding. 29. Sorry.
No worries. I believe you. Do you support Trump?
Oh, yeah. I support him so much. I'm so fucking lying.
Are you trolling?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm just...
Okay. All right. Moving on to Adora. Here we go. In the meantime, Melissa, thank you so much for the $15 over on PayPal. I really appreciate you for that love, Melissa. Guys, show some love to Melissa down below in that comment section for the 15. What's up? Do you support Trump, Adora?
Dean! Dean! My daddy! Dean!
Jesus. Dude, calm down. Holy shit. Okay, everybody. What about Scotty and K Baby? Well, dude, let's just go on a rampage of getting everybody up in here. How about that? We already know that CJ.
Yo, I'm just calling. I'm just saying to apologize to.
Scotty, what's up? You support Trump?
Do you still suck at tic-tac-toe, bro?
Scotty's internet cut out. What's going on, Katie? Do you support Trump?
Fuck.
Okay, Scott. Nope, Katie isn't here. Moving on to K Baby. Let's go to get K Baby up in the live. Here we go, everyone. What's up, K Baby? You support Trump?
Hey, Dean. No, I don't. I just wanted to say you're doing an amazing job. Love what you do.
Thank you for the love, K Baby. I will ask you and other people that don't support Trump to stay out of the queue, though, just because we are fighting so hard to find a single Trump supporter. Please follow the rules. This is getting outrageous. Hello, do you support Trump?
I'm going to be honest. I was tapping. I did not mean to request.
No worries at all. Appreciate you for tapping. Based. Moving on to Trump. Here we go. What's up? You support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Age, please.
I'm 26.
And why do you support the worst president of your life?
I'd say probably because he overturned Roe v. Wade.
Are you not the guest that was just in here?
No. There were like 40 guests before me. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know which guest you're talking about.
Okay, so why do you support Roe v. Wade being overturned?
Because I don't agree with abortion.
Okay, why not?
Because I don't believe that you can take away the experiences of a future sentient life form.
Okay, you were up here earlier. We're going to move on to the next guest. Here we go, everybody. It was the same guest from earlier today and then yesterday. I don't know why he keeps on wanting to come up and have the same debate when we've already had it. Moving on to the next guest, everyone, just do give us a minute. What is going on, Tractor Guy? Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right, Tractor Guy, you're 1 in a million, man. You're 1 in a million. Thanks for being here.
No, I'm one of like 80 million or something.
I mean, no, it's not right. It's 72. Get your numbers
That's close, though. Come on, it's close.
I don't know, Tractor Guy. Why the hell do you support the worst president of your life? Like, this guy sucks, bro.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a ton of flaws with him, but overall, he's doing good things for America, but not for immigrants, which I'm pro immigrant. I'm like, I think we need immigrants, and I think we could have handled this better. But overall, Trump is good, and I think he means well. I think he's just not the brightest guy in the world anymore.
So you support Trump as president because he's dumb. Real quick, what are the good things he's doing for America?
Dude, the whole big, beautiful bill. Come on, didn't you watch Charlie Kirk's TikTok about how good the bill was, and then he forgot to mention all the bad things because he's, like, not that great at...
That would be a troll. Yo, Sid! Thank you so much for the $50 super chat over on YouTube. Sid, I'm not going to read your message, but thank you for the super chat nonetheless. Show some love to Sid.
Hello?
Warily. Hello, do you support Trump?
I really don't care either way. I just want to say I usually have supported Trump, but I think that you're a great guy, and I think everything you say you can back up with credit, and I think you're a good guy, and that's all I really came to say.
I appreciate that, man. That's very kind of you. Thank you for your kind words, bro. I'm happy that you take something away from the streams. We are now 20 minutes in without a single Trump supporter. We're going to set a new record today. I think we might. What's up, Simon? Do you support Trump?
Look, I don't support Trump, but bro, let people...
Guys. I was just about to say, let people speak. Fuck no. I just want Trump supporters. Get the hell out of here. Oh, man. What about Max? We're going to try to move on to the next guest. Let's see. Ebony, thank you for the $10 over on YouTube. Sorry, not on YouTube, PayPal, saying this is literally the only live I watch every day. That's awesome, Ebony. Thank you so much for being in here with us. As well as Taliesin with the $10 as well, saying, hey, Dean, love what you do. Thank you. Thank you so much for your kindness. And as well as Francis with the $10 as well, saying shout out from New Zealand. Shout out to New Zealand. I appreciate you so much. That was the same guy earlier that said the N-word. Did not mean to add him up. In fact, mods, block him, please. Let's go to move on to the next guest. Everyone, just give us a minute. We're going to try to find, I don't know, one Trump supporter out of 8,000 people. Is that a possibility? I don't know. It doesn't really seem like it.
Hello?
Ashley, thank you for the Cooper. Leah, how old are you?
I'm 18.
18? What time is it? All right, everybody. It has been 20 minutes. In the last 20 minutes, we've loaded up maybe around 40 trolls and not one Trump supporter. There will be no value extracted from this stream if you guys continue to do this. There will be none. Zero. None. Zero value extracted out of this stream. So I came on live to talk to Trump supporters. That's why I'm here. That's why I started the stream. It's what I want to do. If you guys could please, just respect the rules of joining the queue, that'd be awesome. It's super simple. It's very, very simple. So we have precisely 3 rules. I'll go over them now. The first rule is you have to be an American. Second rule is you have to be at least 18. And the third rule is you have to be a Trump supporter that's ready and willing to debate. Now, if everybody watching could follow those rules, I would stop going bald. I'd stop losing my hair. I'd stop thinning. I'd stop getting acne. My face, my skin would clear up. I'd have a higher quality of life. I'd eat more. I'd get better sleep. Don't you guys want me to reap those benefits, everyone? If you want me to reap those benefits, all you gotta do is follow the rules. It is that simple, guys. Let's go to move on to the next guest. Here we go. Here's Ty, everybody. Let's see if Ty followed the rules. Oh, Ty left. Ty left the queue. Okay, all right. What about the next guest? What about this guy right here? What about this guy? No, he left too. Oh, he left too. What about Christian? We'll try to get Christian. Hey, Christian, buddy, are you following the rules?
Yes, but I just want to have a question.
How old are you?
20.
Okay, and do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay, so why do you support Trump?
I like his border policies.
Oh, dude. What border policies? What border policies?
Why do you do that smirk every time you ask a question?
Sorry, bro. Fucking hell. Oh, I hate Joy. Ugh.
Okay. I like his border policies. I like how he's removing illegal immigrants from the country and bringing them back where they belong. And yeah, why do you not support Trump?
Well, how about we talk about that? I don't support Trump because of his mass deportation and how incredibly shit it is, not just for the undocumented immigrants, but for you, me, every other American, the American people as a whole, the American economy as a whole, okay? There's actually, in fact, not one articulatable positive outcome of mass deportation on America. Now, you defend mass deportation, so obviously you'd be able to name one positive outcome, articulatable and specific, of mass deportation on America. Can you tell me what that is?
Yes, Americans.
Americans?
Okay, what are you doing? Why do you do that?
Sorry.
Get your anxiety pen. Okay, so Americans that are actually documented here, right? They're losing. They can't get jobs because the legal immigrants that are here steal their jobs, and that's why they need to leave.
Yeah. How many undocumented workers are there right now in America?
There is a lot.
There's 8.3 million. And how many open job opportunities are there today here in America?
That doesn't matter. The what matters is that the people that are actually documented here can't get those jobs because they're stolen by illegal immigrants.
So the reason why that matters is because there's also 8 million open job opportunities. So this whole narrative that undocumented immigrants are just stealing the jobs, A, is false. There's as many open job opportunities as there is undocumented workers. And B, it's not stealing a job. It's working a job, and working that job provides $1.1 trillion through $1.7 trillion to the American GDP every year. Oh, the horror. Oh my God. Dude, you and me, let's get our pitchforks and our signs and send strongly worded letters to every member of Congress complaining about the near $2 trillion that they add to the GDP per year. And don't even get me started on the $100 billion per year that they pay in taxes. They are stealing that tax burden from citizens. It should be us, the citizens, that are paying that additional $100 billion per year in taxes, not them. I want to pay it instead because they're illegal. And the horror of the fact that they subsidize disproportionately the benefits that American citizens receive compared to undocumented immigrants because they pay these taxes illegally. They steal paying the taxes, and then they don't reap any benefits from it. They don't qualify for federal Section 8, federal food stamps, Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. They subsidize us. They are stealing that tax burden, and they are alleviating the amount of taxes that we need to pay for the benefits we receive. Fucking horror. Absolutely terrible. And you know what? It is so terrible that what we need to do is we need to deport them all tomorrow, downsizing their GDP by that same estimate of $1.1 trillion through $1.7 trillion per year. And we also need to spend $2 trillion in the next 10 years to get it done. We need to weaken our industries because when we deport those 8.3 million workers, all of a sudden our industry's productive capacities go down because they don't have the labor they require to produce the goods to sell to the consumers. And we also need to weaken our economy on the demand side, on the consumer side, because we need to get all 12 million of those consumers out of here. We must make our industries weaker. We must reduce our GDP. We must increase the average tax burden of citizens. And also keep in mind that when the totality of the economy is weaker because of the mass deportation, poverty will go up. And we really need poverty to go up because when poverty goes up, so does crime. And this country needs more crime. Amen, brother. Couldn't agree more.
I don't agree. Okay, so if Trump's such a bad guy, how is he president? How did he become president if he's such a bad guy?
Best argument ever. At the end of the day, it's impossible for Donald Trump to be a bad guy because he's the president. You know what? Honestly, I concede. You've beaten me. Like this clip of like Donald Trump saying that
about
it
the
hurts on
conflict a
naked
little
teenage
bit.
girls.
Vagina. Well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else, and no men are anywhere. and I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. You know, I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? You know, they're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
Like, obviously, the logical implication is that because he's president, he's therefore not a bad guy. And the clip that we just listened to, where he was boasting about perving on naked underage teenage girls, is ultimately inconsiderate.
I didn't hear
to
the word
his
underage.
character.
I didn't hear that.
Well, this was at a Miss Teen USA pageant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you see how he could like still be a bad guy even though he's president? And like maybe the people that voted for him are either willfully ignorant, they don't know these things, they're actually evil and they want these things, or they've been convinced to be a member of a cult and deny these things with no good reason. Like, what's your takeaway from that clip?
It's obviously not okay, but
see, it's that but that makes him still president. You ask the question,
No.
if he's such a bad guy, why is he president? It's
Right.
It's
Well,
because of
how
that
is
but.
he-
It's because of that but right there. That's the reason. That is single-handedly the reason he's still president, is because of that but.
well, how was he able to run for president if he's such a bad guy?
If Jeffrey Dahmer was alive and out of prison, Jeffrey Dahmer could run for president.
No, he couldn't.
Yes, he could.
No, he couldn't.
So you just
They
have
would
to
not let him.
Yes.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes. So
No, they wouldn't.
the constitutional provisions to run as president are as follows. You have to be at least 35 years old. You have to be an American-born citizen. And that's really it. There's some other parts of the Constitution that would invalidate an individual for running from any public office, such as, like, I think treason would invalidate you. Committing a insurrection would invalidate you. And that's about it. And
They
it's
would not let
funny enough. Who's they?
Who's they?
Yeah, who's they?
What do you mean, who's they?
I think my question was clear. I don't need to clarify any further. Who's they? You said they would not let him run for president. Who's they?
Damn, I'm stuck there.
Okay. Well, while you're thinking about that real quick, I'd like to thank Mary. Thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. That is incredibly kind of you, Mary. Mary says, hey, Dean, just got to work at the hospital. Glad I could catch at least some of your life today. Hope you're having a great day. You know what, Mary? I'm doing all right today. I really appreciate you for the $10. Let's get 100 Mary W's down below, as well as let's get 300 Angeline W's down below in that chat with the $35 donation over on PayPal. That is incredibly kind of you. They say, hey, Dean, just want to say how much I respect you. We tune into your lives regularly, and your insight and dedication to the truth has made a real difference in our lives and staying grounded and reminding us that we're not alone. Thank you for being a light in the chaos. If it's not too much to ask, today's our 10-year anniversary. If you happen to give us a little shout out, we'd be stoked. Dude, shout out to Angeline and Angeline's partner for their 10-year anniversary. No, that is seriously so cool. There's a lot of people out there that wish they could be in your shoes because you've been able to do something that a lot of Americans and people in general haven't. Being able to find somebody that you truly love, that makes you happy, that you're able to stick with for a very large portion of your life. Today's a really big day for you guys. Happy 10-year anniversary.
You're boring.
I'm boring?
Yes.
Why am I boring?
You're just boring.
Oh, because facts are boring. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
No, your knowledge is boring.
My knowledge is boring?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that's what like the football jocks in high school with 1.8 GPA said.
Oh, really? I'm so happy for you.
Why are you happy for me?
Because I just am.
This is a weird crash out. I'm pretty sure he's leaving. We're going to move on to the next guest. Here we go, everybody. Okay, I guess he just left. For the 9,000 people in here, by the way, thank you for being here. Make sure that you're double tapping on that phone screen. And if you're a Trump supporter, hop in that queue. We'll get you loaded into the live to have a good faith, honest discussion with us. That guy lost it. He said, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose my shit and crash out. All right, moving on to the next guest. Let's go to get Subaru up in the box. And Kyla, thank you for the hand arts. All right, phenomenal. We get them loading in. Also, if you're like, hey, this Dean guy's cool and you want to support me and support the stream, you can find my PayPal in the link tree in my bio. I get 100% of the proceeds over on that platform. They all go straight to me. As well as Sean Dunn. Thank you for the $45 over on Venmo from 10 minutes ago.
Kamala, man, she's watching.
Okay, I don't know what they said, but Shonda with the $45 donation over on Venmo. Shonda, that is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you for the $45. Jesus. Shonda says, thank you for educating people of all ages and for giving us hope in our younger generation. Shonda, that is incredibly kind of you, and thank you for the $45 donation. Let's get at least 500 Shonda W's down below. I do really appreciate you for your kindness. Thank you so much, Shonda. Let's go ahead and get that next guest up in here. Truly just looking for any Trump supporters. I'm looking at the queue down here, and I'm not really finding many. So if you would like to come up and have a conversation with me, just drop a MAGA with your age below that chat. Will get you pulled up. What's up, Nolan? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I support Trump.
How old are you?
Yeah. I'm 19.
Landon's not 19.
Nigger.
Nolan just came up here to say the N-word. We immediately kicked him off the live, and we're going to move on to the next guest. So everyone just give us a minute here. Do be patient while we're getting the next guest up here. We got, let's see here, Grayson, that looks like a kid. Yeah, we have more Trump supporters that want to come up here and use slurs, and Trump supporters that want to debate. Isn't that some crazy shit? Joseph, we talked the other day. Goodbye. All right. This person's name is Daddy's Beautiful Queen XOXO. Hello, Daddy's Beautiful Queen.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. Are you a Trump supporter?
I definitely am.
Okay. Do you mind if you like come closer to your mic and maybe like turn off like the background music? Because I just want to have like clarity and... No! Why'd she leave? No. Come back. Come back, Daddy's Beautiful Queen. Whatever. Moving on to the next guest. We're going to go get Shelby Lynn up in here. Here we go, everybody. Just give us a minute. Truly, just give us a minute. Nope, Shelby said, I'll see you later. Dude, what is going on today? I'm about to lose my shit. I'm not actually going to lose my shit, but like if I was to lose my shit, it would be right now. Hello, Ethan. Do you support Trump? I'm pretty sure that he said the N-word, but his mic is so bad that it only like came through like very quietly. I'm pretty sure that's what he just did. I could barely hear it with my big ass headphones on. All right, let's see who the next guest is, guys. Go to drop a MAGA down below in that comment section with your age if you'd like to come up, y'all. Everybody just give us a minute here, y'all. Do be patient while we're getting the next guest loaded in. Also, Jet, thank you so much for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much, Jet. Show some love to Jet down below. That is incredibly kind of you, Jet. Thank you. What is going on? NXRA, do you support Trump?
Yes.
Age, please?
25.
Whoa, what the hell just happened to your mic? Okay, you're 25. What year are you born in?
1999.
Okay, and you support Trump?
Yes.
God, why the fuck would you support Trump?
Because of his moral values.
Because of his moral values? You gotta be trolling.
No.
Okay, what moral values does he hold that you agree with?
His conservativeness and how he like respects his family.
He respects his family? Well, he cheated on 3 of his wives, one with a porn star, and he buried his first wife on his golf course so he could classify it as a cemetery and thereby making it a tax write-off.
No, like how he
She would be a troll. Phenomenal. Moving on to the next guest. Here we go, everybody. Really difficult. We are now 30 minutes into the stream without like a single Trump supporter. No, we had one. We had one Trump supporter. That wasn't true. We had one. All right. Let's go ahead and see who's next. We got Vicky loading in. Everyone just give us a minute here. Phoebe, thank you for the $20 over on Venmo. Phoebe, thank you so much for the love. Phoebe says, thank you for everything that you do. Phoebe, thank you for your awesome kindness. Guys, show some love to Phoebe down below in that chat. Thank you, Phoebe. Who is next, everybody? I mean, seriously, the list is not too long. The people in the queue are mostly trolls. I truly just want like one more debate before we end for the day. So if you guys could like respect that, and if the trolls could just leave so I could please get my one more debate, that would be awesome. Like, please, I'm begging you. What's going on, Atlanta? Do you support Trump?
This is the worst time for me to join. I just wanted to say that I donated.
Oh, sorry, Elena. You said that you donated to me. I kicked you out because you said that you weren't a Trump supporter. But now I'm curious. Just like type it in the chat or something. Hopefully I'll see it. But I am being deadass. I just want a Trump supporter right now. We're going to move on to the next guest. Everyone just give us a minute. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
Hello?
Hey, Hugo, do you support Trump?
Yes.
Age, please?
20.
20. And what time is it?
I'm not in America right now. I'll be honest, I'm on vacation.
On vacation. Oh man, I'm gonna lose it. Maybe Cole will finally be a Trump supporter. Yo, Robin, thank you so much for the $10. Sorry, not for the 10. With the $15 over on PayPal. Robin says, is in Australia and I'm devastated with what's going on in the USA. So glad you and others like you are fighting against it. Maybe a future run in politics, ? Keep up the good work. Robin, I appreciate you for your kindness, both with the $15 donation and the statement. Yeah, I don't know. Probably not. I guess we'll just have to see how the cookie crumbles. As well as Leah. Dude, oh my God, Leah, thank you for the $25 donation over on PayPal. Leah, that is so incredibly kind of you. Leah says, thank you for all that you do. I work in education and you give me some hope for a future. Your level of patience and knowledge is inspiring. Leah, that is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you for your kind words and the $25 donation. If you guys could show some love to Leah down below in that chat right now, with like 250 Leah W. Seriously, I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much for your kindness. Thank you. Let's go and get that next guest up in here, y'all. Honestly, I'm just going to ignore the queue right now because the queue is proven as unreliable. Like, there's just like a certain group of y'all that just don't care about the rules and whatnot. So go ahead and just put a MAGA with your age in that chat if you want to come up. I'd hopefully, I'm looking for like an older Trump supporter. There's been a lot of 18 and 19-year-olds today. Hopefully looking for somebody that's a little bit on the older side. I definitely finding it difficult just to find Trump supporters on the older side, I'll be honest. But let's go and get that next guest up in here. We got Tander loaded in. What's up, Tander? How old are you?
Hi, man.
How old are you?
22.
22. What time is it?
It is 8.
Maureen, you support Trump? I just heard you crack your knuckle. You are here. Do you support Trump? Okay, I'm really close to ending, you guys. I'm maybe like 5 guests away from ending. Maybe like 5 guests away from ending. I'll be honest, because this is unreal. It's been 40 minutes. This is like outrageous. There's like nothing I could do just to like get y'all to follow the rules. There's nothing. There's seriously nothing. What's up, Big P? You support Trump?
Yo, Dean!
What's up, man?
I do support Trump.
Oh my God, the energy. Okay, all right, let's have a conversation. Real quick before we do, Mary, thank you so much for the $25 over on PayPal. Mary says, I'm clearly one of the oldest people that watches you, but you give me hope that this country can be saved. Fight on, Mary. Thank you so much for your kind words, as well as the $25 donation. I hope that you're having a good day, and thank you so much for being in here with us. If you guys down below in that chat could show some love to Mary, that would be incredibly sweet, and thank you so much for your kindness. Now, Mr. Big P, take it away. Why do you support Trump?
Yeah, so I support his ideas of a decentralized government, and I also really like the ideas of a smaller government and less taxes.
Okay, well, according to the Center of Pennsylvania, taxes are going to be raised on the average American as a result of the big, beautiful bill. To your claim about less spending, so he's actually just signed in the largest spending bill ever, clocking in at $4 trillion over the course of the next 10 years. That is literally the same amount of money as every penny spent by the Biden-Harris administration in the last 4 years, including on COVID. So I don't know, man. Maybe he's not your guy. Then you said that you wanted a smaller government. Okay, well, I don't think that playing judge, jury, and executioner and sending Abrigo Garcia to be literally beaten, tortured in a center for terrorists in El Salvador, violating his constitutional rights illegally, is going to be indicative of A, a decentralized government, or B, a small government. So everything that you just said is not true of Trump. In fact, the opposite is true.
Right. So I don't follow current politics too much. So can you explain to me further what's going on with that individual? What'd you say his name was? Or her name was?
Kilmar or Armando Abrigo Garcia. He was an immigrant that was sent to CICA in El Salvador and beaten, tortured for 3 weeks. While he was there being beaten, tortured, the Supreme Court had unanimously ruled that the Trump administration's removal of him to El Salvador was illegal and they had to facilitate his return. And then after they ruled it as illegal and told them that they had to facilitate his return, Trump's White House went on Twitter and said that he's literally never coming back. So they broke the law and ignored SCOTUS's order after originally breaking the law in their removal of Armando Garcia. And this was all while Abrigo Armando Garcia was being beat and literally tortured by the guards in CICA in El Salvador. I mean, he's like testified to been forced to kneel from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. And if he fell out of exhaustion, he would have been beat by the guards. He testified that he was beat by the guards. Testified that the guards kind of like stuck him in a really small room with bright fluorescent lights on 24/7 with no windows, with like a bunch of other people. He lost 31 pounds in 3 weeks. Like, this is indicative of like a very centralized government with power in the executive branch, and like an overreach of like humanitarian rights. Playing judge, jury, and executioner. And I mean, like, we see this a lot. You know, like, they also passed an executive order banning birthright citizenship for the children of undocumented immigrants. That executive order, like, explicitly violated the Constitution. He still passed it, and he doesn't care. And, you know, then he had a bunch of federal judges rule that was illegal. Like, ultimately speaking, that would be an example of a decentralized government with checks and balances. But then he, like, you know, basically compelled SCOTUS to turn around and rule that those injunctions weren't nationwide, only regional. So now that constitutional violation is still in effect in some parts of the country, nearly 5 months after it was originally signed in by an EO, which is just completely ridiculous, incredibly tyrannical, indicative of a large government with centralized power to not just one branch, but one person. Like, ideologically, this should be in contradiction to every motivation that you shared with us when you first joined this live and described why you like Trump.
Yeah. So let me say this. So obviously, let me make this abundantly clear. I don't agree with him being tortured and everything. And I did hear about that. I just didn't remember him and everything. How does that indicate a centralized government? I mean, that's one occasion. I don't think Trump has any clue that happened until it happened. Realistically, I mean, he's the leader of an entire country. How is he going to know about something like that? How does that indicate a highly centralized government? I feel like that's
his White House posted about it on Twitter, acknowledging that they have knowledge of it, and said he never returned.
Yeah, after it happened, of course, but
after he was removed, but before he was returned, and that was the time when he was being beaten and tortured after the SCOTUS had ruled it was illegal.
Okay, I get what you're saying, and I also do disagree with that, and I feel like it is centralized. And don't get me wrong, that's one of the things that Trump has done that I don't agree with, right?
So then what has he done that you do agree with?
I do agree with his opinions on allowing more and more things to the states, from abortion, from marijuana to this, that, and every other thing, giving it.
You got cooked, bro. You got absolutely flamed. You can't say the names of drugs on TikTok Live. It's a very unknown rule. No, like, and it makes no sense. And like, typically when like I'm having a conversation with a guest that's like framed in a way where I would expect them to maybe say the name of a drug, I give them that heads up. But like every so often there'll be a guest that just like randomly drops it and like something I can't foresee. And I always feel so bad when that happens because I have to immediately turn around and kick them. I always feel really bad when that happens. I'm sorry, Big P. I'm sorry, man. That sucks. That sucks. That could have been a good conversation. Yeah, rough. What's up, Ton? You support Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 21.
What time is it?
Is 5:37.
Phenomenal. And why do you support Trump?
I believe some of his politics, I know that he's messed up and didn't, how can I say it, practically hasn't worked and done great stuff, but for some promise at the start, he was very good. Excuse me, Dean, I cannot do it. I love you. Bye.
Cool, moving on. Here we go, everybody. Let's have some respect for the rules, y'all. Moving on to Tanner. Here we go. Sorry, not Tanner, Cole. We got Cole loading up in here. What's up, Cole?
Hello.
You support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you. Fuck you. I'm just kidding. That's mean. Sorry. Real quick. Regina, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo, saying great job at being so articulate and great job at showing the ignorant conservative Sky Daddy loving idiots. I appreciate you for the love. That is incredibly kind of you. And then also, let's see here. Christopher, thank you so much for the $25 over on PayPal. I appreciate you so much for the love. Christopher says, my daughter reposted a video of you yesterday and it made my spirit smile, knowing she's choosing the right people to be her social north stars, from Ronan. That is so cool, Ronan. That makes me really happy. And I understand why that would make you happy as a father as well. Shout out to Ronan and Ronan's daughter down below in that chat. And thank you so much for the $25 donation. That's awesome, man. As well as Martiza, thank you for the $10 over on PayPal, saying that you're doing a great job at educating people. Thank you for the love, Martiza. But anyways, hey, Cole, sorry for saying fuck you. Take it back. Why do you support Trump?
Yes.
Yes is not an answer to my question. So my question was, why do you support Trump?
I agree with him on like the trans people.
Yeah. No, you're cooking, dude. Hell yeah. No, absolutely, bro. I mean, think about it. Healthcare for 17 million Americans or no healthcare for 17 million Americans while also restricting 12 trans women from competing in the NCAA. Anyone with a brain would obviously jump to number 2. Tax cuts for 100 million American workers in the lower middle class, or an increase in taxes on low and middle income Americans, and an increase in the expense of living, like increasing health insurance premiums on the average middle class American by $26,000 per year, and the cost of energy for the average American household by $400 per year, or no trans people in the NCAA.
Yeah, no trans
every
people.
single day. Absolutely.
No trans people would be way better.
Absolutely. Way better. You know what? And you obviously think this because you're just such like a vicor of like women's rights, correct?
No, not really.
So you don't like care about the women's rights. So then why do you care about trans people?
Yeah, I think it's a mental illness.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and name me one institution, medicine or science that considers being trans as a mental illness.
I don't know. It's just my opinion.
Oh, really? Really? You can't name an institution, medicine or science? What do you do for work?
What do I do?
Yeah.
I farm.
You farm. Well, guess what the people who got the 12-year medical degrees and work at these institutions say? They say it's not a mental illness. In fact, there's not one that does. Institutions such as the World Health Organization, the American Psychiatric Association, the American Medical Association, the Endocrine Society, the British Psychological Society, the Royal College of Psychiatrics, the Canadian Psychological Association, the Australian Psychological Society, the European Society for Sexual Medicine, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Academy of Family Physicians, the American Counseling Association, American Public Health Association, all these institutions and more vehemently affirm the idea that no, being trans is not a mental illness. And there's not a single reputable institution of medicine and science in the world that considers it as a mental illness. The only people that make the claim it is a mental illness are people like you that in all reality just don't understand what it means to have an incongruence between your gender identity and phenotypical sex traits. And out of this place of ignorance is born a sentiment of disdain. And this is something that we've seen throughout human history. When we're ignorant about something, we don't like it, right? And this, was born out of like an evolutionarily drive for like flourishment and like the extending the length of one's life. You don't know what's in the deep dark cave, so you don't go into it because you don't like it. And it serves that evolutionary purpose for sure. But now the way that we've seen this in society is if we don't understand a fact of somebody else's existence, if we don't understand it, we're not well researched, maybe it's not something that we personally experience, well, you fill in that hole with hate. And I just don't think it's acceptable for you to fill in that hole of a lack of understanding about trans people with hate and prejudice. Oh, he left. For everybody in the chat saying, let him answer. He didn't want to answer. Okay. Let's go and see what the next guest, AEE, has to say. Here we go. What's up, AEE? You support Trump?
Hello.
Hey, what's up? You support Trump?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 20.
All right, what time is it?
It's 20 minutes, no, quarter to, what's it called? 7.
Quarter to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's EST. Okay, why do you support Trump?
Because, I don't know, I just do.
This is a debate live.
Can you tell me why I should support
Am I supposed
Kamala?
to debate your feelings?
Wait. Can you tell me why I should support Kamala?
I'll give you reasons to support Democrats if you could give a reason why you support Trump.
Cookie Monster, you Rodney.
Ew. Cringy as fuck. Oh, the way that he said it was just so cringy. We're gonna move on to the next guest, Danny. Oh. Ow. That actually like pained me.
Yes, bro. Get me in here.
What's up, Danny? You support Trump?
What's up, Danny? Yes, I do, buddy.
You got an echo, buddy. You want to fix that for me, pal?
Oh, sorry. I'm on my phone mic, dude.
Test. No, it's the echo's gone. All right.
Test.
All right, little bro. Why don't you take away and tell us why you support Trump? Fuck.
Because, bro, listen up. And I'm going to say this real clearly for you. Dude's got the biggest dump truck I've ever...
Dude, Connor. Wait, his name was Danny. Danny, calm down. Okay, all right. Moving on to the next guest. Jesus Christ, you guys are gonna drive me up a wall. You guys are gonna drive me insane. Yeah, you guys are. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my God. Oh Jesus. I'm gonna lose my shit, everybody. I'm gonna lose it. My shit is gone. Okay. Oh God. Goodness gracious. Yo, Andrew. So Andrew just hit us with the $10 donation over on PayPal, and Andrew says, for the therapist fee? Andrew, oh my God, I love you. See, I'm going to take that $10. I'm going to turn around, okay? And I'm going to spend it on a therapist. I need to talk to somebody about how I feel, Andrew. And I really appreciate your help. That's great. That's fucking fantastic, man. Let's go ahead and move on to the next guest, everybody. Let's see. Who do we got? We got Nick. We got Nick in the queue. Let's go to get Nick up in here. Great. Phenomenal. Quite frankly, we got Nick loading in. Hey, what's up, Nick? You support Trump?
Sure do.
Are you driving, Nick?
Yeah, I joined as soon as
I gotta kick you because you're driving. If you happen to stop driving before I end the live, feel free to hop back in the queue. This is a 12-year-old, I think. 12?
Not vaping.
Yep. Moving on. Here we go, everybody. Let's go to see what the next guest has to say. Let's go to get the next guest, Scott, up in here. Phenomenal. Hey, Scott.
I like Trump because he didn't ban TikTok and
The profile picture was toes. It's just some like 4-year-old that says they like Trump because he didn't ban TikTok. I bet he's being dead ass too. What's up? You support Trump?
I read what was going on.
They're not here? No, they're not here. I bet they were being dead ass too. I bet that they were being super for real. Oh my goodness. What are we gonna do, you guys? What are we gonna do if this trend continues? I should just like open a daycare. I should just open a daycare at this point. I'll be the richest man alive. Okay? My clientele. I've a very large clientele. What's up, Scott? Do you support Trump?
Absolutely not. I just want to say hello and thank you for all you do. I think you're awesome and keep fighting these Republicans. You're awesome. Thank you.
Appreciate you for the love, Scott. Just looking for one last debate. We seriously only have time for one last debate. If we don't get like another person up here soon, unfortunately, we won't have another debate. What's up? You support Trump, Phoenix?
Yeah, I did. Why do you support?
Let's go to move on to Naya. Sid, thank you so much for the $25 over at PayPal. Sid says, I've done some reflecting and I'd like to apologize for my last donation. Here's some money for therapy. You know what, Sid? I formally accept your apology. Thank you so much for the $25 on a real net. On a real net, we love you, Sid. Thank you so much. As well as Rachel, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal. They say vegan here. That vegan guy earlier sure isn't helping the movement. His delivery was a mess, but I do empathize with him. I know that desperate urge to stop the suffering of animals. I hope he finds a calmer, more effective way to share it. P.S. I love what you do. You know what? I completely agree with you, Rachel. Thank you for the $20. Show some love to Rachel down below in that chat for being a chill vegan Rachel W, as well as Sid with the $25. Welcome in. Naya, do you support Trump?
A little bit.
Ooh, okay. What is he doing that you like?
I go to a HBCU.
Okay, he defunded HBCUs?
from what I have seen, we have gained money.
No, so Obama was funding HBCUs $1 billion every 4 years. Donald Trump steps into things. No, Obama was funding HBCUs $2 billion every 4 years. Donald Trump reduced that to $1 billion every 4 years. And then when Biden and Harris were elected, they increased that to $4 billion every 4 years.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Well, shit, then I can see. That's all I had.
Okay. Hey, I appreciate you for joining.
No problem. Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day. Let's go to get that next guest up in here, y'all. Everyone, let's go to get that next guest up in here. If you're in that queue, make sure that means that you support Trump. We probably have time for, like I said, one more conversation. All right.
Oh, shit. My bad. I didn't mean to join, but I love you, bro. Sorry.
No worries, man. No worries. Don't worry about it, Chris. Don't worry about it. Moving on. Okay, who's next? What about Harry? Harry looks like a kid. I don't know. We'll see if it's a fetus. Please don't be a fetus, Harry. Leah, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. That's a great, I'm sorry, PayPal, Leah. Thank you so much for the love. That is Leigha. Show some love to Leah down below. Leah says, as somebody with all MAGA family, I appreciate you for teaching the brainless cult members. Leah, hey, listen, I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate you for your donation, and I appreciate you for your kind words. Chat, show some love to Leah. While we're hopping into this next debate, Harry, please don't be a child. How old are you? Oh, well, Harry is asleep. Rock my baby. Should we like do some sorry guys, I'm loading up my YouTube stream. Some like lullabies? No, we'll just leave him be. We'll leave him be. Okay. I'll try to keep my voice at a lower level for the rest of the stream so he could continue to sleep. Sleepy Harry. Very sleepy. You know what? I'm sleepy too. I didn't get that much sleep last night. But I can't sleep because I'm too busy trying to wake up all of these Trump supporters. What's going on? Joey, you support Trump? Okay, is Joey also asleep? Yeah, probably. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you're just still pondering the question. Trying to think of a good response. What about Bryce? Let's see if Bryce wants to come up and debate. What's that, Bryce?
Hey, what's up, man?
Support Trump, Bryce?
I think I do.
Why?
I saw some of the stuff about, okay, so you know the, his big, beautiful, quote-unquote bill or whatever?
Yeah, I do.
Well, I kind of like some of the stuff he had in place, like, for no taxes on overtime. I kind of liked that.
Okay.
So,
Do you make over or under $50,000 a year, Bryce?
under.
Under. Yeah, your taxes will increase. That's coming from the University of Pennsylvania, particularly their Wharton School of Business. So at the end of the day, you'll be paying more taxes.
Can you like explain that to me a little better? Just because I don't know. I don't really know too much about it. All I know is like what I've heard. So could you like explain that a little bit more to me?
Yeah, for sure. Oh wait, actually, I think that the cap. Wait. What is like your like more specific income?
I make about right at 50. I'm like right at 50,000.
Yeah. Well, then I'm pretty sure that the no tax on overtime won't even apply to you because it caps at 25K in like total taxable revenue. About no tax tips. I mean, do you work a job where you get tips, or do you work a job where you work overtime?
No, I work a job where I get overtime.
Mm-hmm. So I don't even know if you'll qualify for the no tax on overtime.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your time, man. I appreciate you.
Of course, you have a good one. We're gonna move on to the next guest. Now I see a lot of people in the chat saying that. So is that like a cap for like the total income that you can have in order to qualify? Or is it like the total amount of income like raised via overtime or tips that you can deduct? Like, could you deduct a total of $25,000 in taxes from overtime? Or do you not even qualify for deduction if you make over 25K? Which one is it? Is it a deduction, or it's like if you make over this? Okay, if it's a deduction, then that guy, feel free to request, because then you would have qualified up to that dollar amount. And obviously, if you're making that 50K a month, probably all of the overtime you work could have been deducted. What's going on, Dan? Do you support Trump?
Yep.
I would say so.
Dan, why, man?
Well, just to clarify on the last guy's point, the 25K cap is actually the earnings from overtime.
Yeah. See
Not
that?
your total.
That's what I was just talking about with the chat.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of an echo. I don't know if I could like do that echo. It's pretty bad.
There's an airplane that just went by. That's what you were hearing.
Echo? Okay, the echo seemed to have gone away. All right, so why do you support Trump?
Seemed like a better choice than Kamala.
Why?
I'm gonna get hate for this, but I like that. Even though I don't agree with everything about Trump, I like that he his whole focal point wasn't about the so and so community. He actually had planned for the well-being of the entire population, economy. He's a smart businessman, whether you agree or disagree with a lot of his stuff and what he's done.
I think that his economic policy, both in his first and second term, have been shown to be absolutely disastrous. For instance, in his first term, he passed a round of $2 trillion tax cuts, or tax cuts that cost our government $2 trillion over the 10 years. They disproportionately helped the ultra wealthy, and they didn't increase our GDP by much. I'd call that a failure. Then now in the second term of the BBB, I mean, kicking 17 million people off of healthcare, risking the food stamp benefits of 3 million Americans, and kicking 18 million school students off of free lunch assistance. It's pretty grotesque. Not to mention, is the most expensive bill ever passed through Congress, clocking in at $4 trillion. So I don't know. You could say he's good business. I disagree, but what I think we could hopefully agree on is that his economic policy has just been absolutely disastrous. And then you were talking about Kamala Harris. She just focused on the so-and-so community. That's a really vague statement. I don't even know what you mean.
How do I go about it without... I have nothing against the community. I'm talking about the one that starts with L.
You could just say the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah, it just seemed like every time she was on TV and pandering, it seemed to do with basically focusing on what Trump wanted to do when he came out that one time and said that there's only two genders and whatnot. She seemed to play a lot onto that. Just seemed to be her focal point, and then she also wouldn't be actually interviewed.
How could you call that her focal point when she literally ran on no policy for the LGBTQ plus community? Yeah, she had economic policy to cut taxes for 100 billion American workers and low and middle class. She had economic policy to reduce the amount that any American citizen could pay out of pocket for private pharmaceutical drugs to $2,000 per year. She had economic policy to increase the child tax credit from $2,000 to $5,000. She had economic policy to increase the amount of houses that are built in this country by around 4 million new houses in the next 4 to 8 years by offering first-time homebuyers a $25,000 subsidy. She had social policy to reinstitute and codify federal protection for like women and girls' access to abortion in all 50 states to reduce human rights violations in this country. She had social policy to our border immigration policy to expedite the amount of time the amount of time that it takes to legally immigrate into this country by hiring more judges to run more courts to expedite all legal claims of immigration, which would naturally disincentivize undocumented entry. But she definitely didn't have any policy for gay people. Do I wish that she had policy to address systemic issues that disproportionately affect marginalized communities, including members of the LGBTQ plus community, BIPOC communities, etc.? Absolutely. Is it something that she ran on? Nope. So when you tell us that that was her focal point, that is a lie, most likely driven by propaganda generated by Fox News pundits.
Wasn't Fox News, but I do understand your point and your reasoning. I just have to agree to disagree on that. What do you say to the people that feel like they were doing better and that their dollar was going further during Trump's first term?
I'd say that they were right because of inflation onset by the pandemic in like 2021, 2022. Like obviously, like the dollar would have gone further in 2017 compared to like 2024. Yeah.
Are you talking about global inflation or?
Yeah, global and local. I mean, we saw global inflation onset by the pandemic, and that also impacted inflation in America.
So you're saying that were there any policies that you think or anything that Trump did during his first term that helped Americans?
First Step Act, but the only reason it passed under Trump's term is because the GOP in Congress refused to pass it under Obama. They wanted a Republican in office when they passed it. Right to Try Act, that one was pretty good. I mean, Operational Warp Speed, that was good. You had a couple good ones. I just think that the negative definitely outweighs the positive. I mean, let's think about it. He is a 34-count felon, an adjudicated rapist, somebody that has boasted about perving on underage naked teenagers, somebody that has now passed the most expensive policy in American history, kicking millions of people off of food stamps, free school lunches, and Medicaid. Not to mention, he is incredibly xenophobic. During his first term, he ran on shutting down all new entries from Muslims across the world into this country. He's also incredibly racist. He perpetuated the birther myth of Barack Obama, basically telling people they shouldn't vote for him because he's black. He's very misogynistic. He said the best thing that could ever happen to a woman is pregnancy. And he elected justices to the Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade, in my mind, that has resulted in 66 million human rights violations. At the behest of American women and girls, and 60 pregnant rape victims per day being denied access to service, and women like Adriana Smith being treated as literal human incubators to have the bodies of newborns extracted and dissected from their carcasses, from their dead bodies, as if they're nothing more than an object, a means to an end. And this is all a result of Donald Trump, his administration, his policy, and his efforts to impact this country. These are all overwhelming reasons in which I think significantly outweigh the minimal pros generated by him either in his first or second term.
Okay, and yep, I mean, like I said, I personally don't agree with everything that he said and done, but I don't think you could find anyone on the planet where you can completely agree with absolutely everything that someone has said and done. But
Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk agrees with everything Donald Trump has ever said and done. He's a shill.
Yeah, I think Parker and yourself put too much emphasis on Charlie Kirk.
I mean, you said I couldn't find anybody alive that agrees with everything Donald Trump has ever said or done. Charlie Kirk does, literally. He'll defend Donald Trump no matter what.
Okay, then name me something that you don't agree with Kamala Harris.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think that her immigration policy was progressive enough. I wish that she supported mass amnesty. I also don't think that her border policy was as comprehensive. I think that it was taking a step in the right direction to hire more judges appointed to manage legal claims of immigration. I just think it should have been significantly more aggressive. I also don't think that her support for Israel was a good thing. I wish it was the case that she would have not supported Israel and rather supported a conditional allyship predicated on not being allies with countries that are ethnically cleansing. I wish that she would have supported more humanitarian aid and effort to end the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians. I also wish that she would have supported more direct policy to target and end systemic issues that impact this country. Maybe when she was serving as VP under Biden, I wish that she would have put a larger emphasis on trying to get federal protections for women and girls' access to abortion pushed through in the last 3 years, or done any of the three things that I just said in the last 3 years. I think that she was a great speaker. I think that she ran on some great policy. But do I think she could have been like a little bit better at speaking? Maybe, sure. I mean, there's definitely some like clips where she was like rambling or whatnot. But I don't think that would amount to her being like incoherent or discombobulated. I still think she was great at what she did. There's some critiques of Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I don't agree with the 60 Minutes segment, I believe it was, where it came out and known that they like doctored and edited the interview that she did.
Yeah, please go ahead and give me one edit done in her 60-minute interviews that was intentionally done to make her look significantly better. Because like all the edits done in the released 60 Minutes interview compared to the raw interview was seemingly just taking out redundancies. And that's pretty typical in media.
So is that another Fox News thing?
What do you mean another Fox News thing? I'm confused.
I don't know. It was on all major platforms that I could see where they said that there was significant amount of what word did they use that I saw?
Manipulation. Yeah, they also got mad at Obama for wearing a tan suit.
For what? Sorry.
For wearing a tan suit. I don't really take like right-wing pundits and mainstream media all too seriously.
Okay.
So I mean,
Fair
if your
enough.
biggest critique of Kamala Harris is The idea that she went on 60 Minutes and in 60 Minutes edited just out redundancies, if anything, made her look worse. If that's your biggest critique of Kamala Harris, obviously she's like Jesus 2.0 compared to Trump. I think my biggest critique of him is like playing judge, jury, and executioner and literally sentencing a man to be beaten and tortured illegally for 3 weeks and not giving a shit.
My biggest critique about Kamala was
Just gonna go right over that one, yeah, for sure. Take it away.
It was when she was asked, I believe, what was her position? She was DA.
DA, okay. DA San Fran.
And she was asked about now that some of the states are starting to legalize.
Don't say the word. Just say the
yeah.
drug.
Yeah. Well, we both know Colorado was first, I believe, so we both know what we're talking about. And how does she feel about putting people away that are sitting in jail for multiple years for that specific substance now that it's legal? And she just laughed.
During her time as DA, she started up an initiative for first-time low-level drug offenders to be offered, like a pathway to work as a quote-unquote punishment for their drug offense compared to going to jail. She was one of the first DAs in America to implement policy of the kind. So if you want to frame her as somebody that was really hard on crime and wanted to lock people up for the use of the M drug, is incredibly disingenuous. She was actually innovative at the time. Not to mention in 2014, she said that we need to end the war on drugs and federally legalize use of the M drug. In 2018, she co-signed herself on legislation in the Senate to do exactly that. The only reason why the legislation failed is because Trump was president and the GOP does not want it to be federally decriminalized. And that is why it is still federally criminalized to this day, is because of Trump, because of the GOP, and because of MAGA. So, like, seriously, your largest critique of her is like a clip out of context where she laughed at that question being asked, even though behind the scenes and publicly at the time, she was working on like work initiatives so low-level drug offenders would work instead of going to jail. Well, then you obviously must fucking hate Trump, because the only reason it is still federally illegal is because of him.
Yeah, I'm actually from Canada, and I didn't vote for either of them. Just so you know. All
right. Well, he broke the rules. I mean, at least it was a longer conversation. Somebody in the YouTube comment section literally just said, I'm glad Dean was able to get a real MAGA color before the end of his stream. The amount of trolls today has been insane. Sorry, RBR. It looks like we've come up empty-handed, but it was a fruitful conversation nonetheless. All right, everybody. It is that time. I've been live for 4 hours, and we are now going to commence the ending of the stream. For everybody that has joined us today, I really appreciate you so much for being in here. It was a productive day. We had some good debates. I actually enjoyed the time on air, and I appreciate every single one of you for joining us. For tomorrow's stream, we're going to be back on the main account, @itsdean, so make sure if you don't follow the main that you go drop it a follow after you leave. I really appreciate everyone so much for joining in. If you want to keep up with me, feel free to join the Discord, link in bio. As well as, I have an updates channel on my Instagram account. You could find that really easily by just typing Dean Withers into the Instagram search bar. In that updates channel, I post every time I have new content that's out, and every time I go live. So if you want notifications of when these live streams start and end, just join that YouTube channel. Sorry, not that YouTube, that Instagram channel. It's actually quite been official. But everybody, at this time, I am going to go ahead and end for the day. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace and love. Goodbye. Oh, I gotta click a couple more buttons to end it over on YouTube. Love you guys. Bye, y'all.